The haughty dragon girl, Meredith, possessed captivating beauty, yet she was lost in a human world rife with conspiracies and unfamiliar faces. Her childhood had been filled with misfortune, and she was ostracized wherever she went. Fate brought before her a mysterious knight named Leyon, who dared to pledge his allegiance, swearing to belong to her alone. She clung to him like a child learning to love, and Leyon, the initially cold young man, gradually opened his heart to her. Through countless hardships, they slowly opened up to each other, beginning a sweet and passionate love story. Meredith found a haven, and Leyon became her one and only knight. Where will their love story lead? Let's follow along with Nezuko Recap to find out. Meredith had never received her father's love. She always blamed him. If you don't love me, why did you bring me into this world? I'll never understand. Father, hug me. He heartlessly pushed her away. Get out. No one expected anything of me, and even if they did, it was only hatred and resentment, not to mention those around her, who always loathed her. Monster, get away. Then, they tried to grab Meredith. She was always running. Her blood is a panacea. Drain all her blood. Catch her. She's not human. Then, she tripped. She cowered, crying out in pain. I thought Mother was the only one in the world who loved me. In that moment, the only light left in Meredith's heart was her mother. Only with her mother could she express her emotions. Mother, Meredith is so sad. Everyone hates me, and even Father won't hug me. But I was the one who killed her. She still didn't know what terrible thing was about to happen, innocently pleading, Mother, can you hug me? Her mother was killed protecting her. Meredith's eyes widened in shock. Tears slipped from her mother's eyes, her last words being, Meredith, if only you were human. She cried and begged, Mother, don't leave me. Outside the capital city, Meredith was dozing in the forest. Then she suddenly woke up. She furrowed her brows in worry. I think I had a dream. What was it? I can't remember. My name is Meredith, and I've been traveling alone for a month. She looked at the town in the distance, then shouted joyfully, Great, I'm almost there. Something about Meredith. I seal my memories, and all I remember is that I have to go to a human town and learn how to become human. Then she grabbed her pile of jewels. I have to wear all of you. Suddenly, something startled her. Meredith turned around to check. I think that same sound woke me up earlier, too. The sky was clear, but something was moving rapidly in the forest below. She saw a young man exterminating dragons. Meredith thought in surprise, there's a human there. Her eyes lit up, watching him with interest. His name was Leyon, and he was fighting energetically. So annoying. He seems to be in trouble. As expected, it's foolish to wander into monster territory alone. Meredith stood there, watching him with longing eyes. A human. This seems to be the first time I've seen such a handsome man. He looks delicious. Then she struggled to suppress her desire. No, I can't eat humans. The monsters didn't seem to want to attack Leyon. He thought with frustration, well, it looks like I'll have to use that move. They're just mid-level monsters anyway. When they get close, I'll finish them all off with one blow. But suddenly, one of them lunged at him ferociously. Meredith couldn't help but worry, no, he'll die. Suddenly, a whirlwind erupted out of nowhere. Leyon furrowed his brows in worry. Wait, why do I have a bad feeling about this? The whirlwind swept him and the dragons away, and then smoke filled the forest. Meredith was controlling her power. Rocks and soil were blown away wherever she went. Her shoulders twitched and wings appeared. Meredith anxiously remembered, how could I forget this? Once I use magic more than 5 times, I can't turn back into a human. She approached Leyon, who was lying motionless on the ground. Meredith looked at him with fear. I accidentally used magic, so I think I killed this person. Then she came up with a strange idea. I know. I'll bury him. Maybe he'll come back to life from the ground in the spring. His handsome face was covered in dirt. Leyon slowly opened his eyes. She held a shovel, drooling. But he smells so good. Is he human? Then she started digging to bury him. Leyon abruptly sat up. He spat out the dirt that had fallen into his mouth and lamented, looking at his clothes. They're all dirty. He had been careful not to get any monster blood on his clothes before, so as not to get them dirty. Meredith was happy to see him awake and asked, Hey, you're not dead. Leyon brushed the dust off his clothes and replied, Of course not. Who are you? Why are you in monster territory? She leaned closer to him and excitedly introduced herself. You're not dead. That's great. My name is Meredith, and you're the first human I've met. But then he caught a glimpse of her wings. Wings. Leyon pushed her away in shock, demanding, Could it be? You're not human. Meredith honestly replied, "No, I'm looking for a human town to learn how to become human." Leyon observed her carefully with a serious expression. Seeing his expression, she thought that's strange. Why did he stop talking? Did he hit his head and become a fool? Meredith racked her brains. What should I do? What should I do with a foolish human? Thinking that eating was her favorite thing to do, she thought, should I just eat him? Just then, Leyon asked Meredith, "You said you want to become human, right?" Yes, oh. The human can talk again. He suddenly smiled slightly, then introduced himself and made a suggestion. "My name is Leyon, and I'm a knight. I'll teach you how to become human. How about that?" In the border region, people were busy buying and selling at the market. "Come and get your roasted sweet potatoes." Delicious and sweet roasted sweet potatoes, only 5 cents. Noisy hawking could be heard everywhere. Buy yourself a set of anti-monster armor and never worry about being attacked again. Meredith had entered the town, excitedly taking in everything. Wow, amazing. This is a human town. Because she was having so much fun, she got separated from Leyon more than once. "Sir Leyon, she's over there." Someone approached her, greeting her and trying to sell her something. "Madam, what do you think of this?" Meredith took a bite of the cake and promptly spat it all out. "Human food is so disgusting." "No, it can't be." Leyon recalled their previous conversation. "I'll teach you how to become human." "Okay." So decisive. I knew it wouldn't be that simple. He ran towards her. Suddenly, something was thrown at him. He quickly dodged, but unfortunately, it hit one of his subordinates. He didn't seem to care. "That almost hit me. This is terrible." Everywhere Meredith went, vendors greeted her and tried to sell her their wares. "Madam, would you like to buy a weapon? This shield is made from the back scales of a monster. Seeing as you're wearing monster wings as equipment, you must be quite knowledgeable about weapons. Look, this shield is harder than stone." She applied a little force, and the shield snapped in two. Oops, it broke. The vendor was stunned, then unceremoniously tossed it aside. The shield hit another of Leyon's subordinates. He yelled angrily, "Enough." Meredith was playfully messing with this and that. "Hey, that's my medicine." Leyon finally caught up to her. "Got you." Suddenly, she slipped. He panicked, but thankfully caught her in his arms just in time. Their faces were now very close, so close that Leyon blushed. Then he thought, why isn't she moving? Wasn't she running around just a moment ago? Meredith was more composed, worried that he might fall. Humans seem so fragile. "Leyon, are you all right?" Then she carefully examined his hand. "I should be the one asking if you're all right." At that moment, Lord Warren Howard walked over. He had witnessed everything and laughed loudly. "Look, isn't that Sir Leyon? How hilarious." "Sir Leyon, you're so smitten you've lost all face." Meredith's eyes lit up when she saw him, and she quickly ran over. In front of everyone, she snatched his hat, and his wig flew off his head. It turned out her target was the hat. A treasure. Warren Howard was naturally furious, feeling humiliated. "My hair." The crowd couldn't help but laugh gleefully. "Look, isn't that Baron Howard? This is even funnier than what just happened." He raised his hand to hit her. "You little brat, I'll kill you." But then a hand stopped him. It was Leyon, stepping in to protect her. "Isn't this Lord Warren? I apologize to you on her behalf." Meredith, innocently, was only focused on how close he was standing to her. "Leyon, you smell nice. Don't touch me with that dirty nose. And I haven't settled the score with you yet." Warren Howard's expression immediately changed, and he greeted him obsequiously. "Sir Leyon, who is this young lady? She's very lively." Leyon then picked her up, as if to stake his claim, and asked for a favor. "Would you mind investigating whether she's from this town? I can't let her run around anymore, so I have to hold her." He agreed. Of course. But she's so beautiful. If she were from this town, I couldn't have missed her. Report back to me once you've confirmed whether she is or not." "Understood." "Yes, understood." He dismissed him. "Understood. Then go. You need a bath and change of clothes." Warren Howard scratched his head, unsure where to go. Leyon added, "The Earl is so hospitable. Since he's already arranged for me to stay at the mansion for a while, I'm sure he wouldn't mind arranging a place for her as well." He happily accepted. "Of course I wouldn't mind." But secretly, he didn't want to help at all. "If it weren't for the fact that you were sent by the royal family, I wouldn't even bother receiving you." Leyon and Meredith were very close, and Meredith enjoyed the embrace. "Don't show your wings." At Warren Howard's mansion, Leyon carried Meredith inside. "Welcome, Sir Leyon and Baron Howard." She seemed to really like the diamond on his hat, staring at it intently. "Take off your hat." The servants pointed and whispered amongst themselves. "What is that?" "Wings." Leyon answered for her, saying it was just a fake ornament, but she refused and insisted it wasn't fake. Meredith's wings were real. Yes, her wings were real. Then he ordered, keep an eye on her. I need a change. He muttered to himself, she's a bit. Turns out she's not quite right in the head. She was then taken to the bathroom. Leyon went to take a bath, but he was still a little worried. It should be fine to let them watch over that troublesome child for a while, right? He undressed and slowly entered the tub. Then he lay down and soaked in the water. Suddenly, Meredith ran in, calling out to Leyon. He asked, shocked, what are you doing here? He shuddered, but she still innocently asked, when will Leyon teach me how to become human? Leyon shouted angrily, can't you see I'm taking a bath? Oh, then he sighed, trying to stay calm. But she remained undaunted, sitting down by the bathtub and looking up to ask again, so, when can Leyon teach me how to become human? Why are you still here? He held his head wearily. Don't you know shame? What's that? Leyon turned around and taught her the first lesson. Normal people don't barge in while others are bathing. Oh, then he turned back to confirm, now, you know, so turn around. After he finished his bath, the two sat outside and talked. Dragon-raising tip, what is Leyon doing? He turned around to get dressed. Why should I turn around? Because I'm changing clothes. Why do I have to leave when Leyon changes clothes? Because men and women are different. Meredith asked blankly why. Leyon explained helplessly, you just need to know that bathing and changing clothes are private, okay? This child sure asks a lot of questions. She happily grabbed his hand. Meredith remembers. Bathing and changing clothes can only be done alone. Then he pushed her out of his room. Humans have to go back to their own rooms to sleep at night. Go to sleep. I'll teach you something else tomorrow night. He was still working in his study, comparing the faces of 18 missing girls. None of them were her. Portraits of many different girls were laid out on the table. At the desk, he asked, besides these 18 girls, have you investigated any other missing person cases? Warren Howard respectfully replied, we've checked everything, but found nothing. Then he fell into deep thought. Outside of town, a girl seemed to have been attacked by a monster. My poor daughter. People had to face them day and night. In fact, Border Pole Town was located at the border of the monster forest, and occasionally some monsters would sneak in. People gossiped. I saw it with my own eyes. She must have been kidnapped. It must have been done by a perverted ogre. However, people didn't think the culprit was a monster. Leyon subsequently received this assignment. Eventually, this strange rumor reached the royal family, and the queen ordered me to investigate this matter thoroughly. He fell into deep thought. Meredith wasn't from this town. She claimed not to be human, had strange wings, and wanted to eat anyone she saw. Then he ordered him, I'll take these portraits with me. I'll confirm them again tomorrow. Thank you for your trouble, Baron Howard. It's my duty. Then, he left the study and returned to his bedroom. He was startled to see her lying on his bed. She was very happy to see him back. Leyon is back. Why did you come in my room? You're wandering around again. The servants can't keep an eye on this child at all. Meredith honestly replied, because this room smells like Leyon. She tried to explain, I can't sleep without my treasure. Where's your treasure? I left it in the forest. Leyon gave her his sword. I'll lend it to you for now, but don't take the jewels out. But then she slumped her shoulders. Then she pouted and made a request. I can't sleep with only one jewel. He flatly refused. Putting on a pitiful act won't work. I don't care. But then he gave in to her wishes. She lay contentedly in the pile of jewels. Can you sleep now? Meredith was unhappy. No, it's too noisy. Leyon was confused. Noisy? I don't hear anything. There's clearly a lot of noise. Then cover your ears with a pillow. She took a pillow and covered her ears. I can still hear it. Then she explained, I hear someone saying they want to eat him. So do humans eat humans too? She asked innocently, Leyon, what does that mean? Seeing this, he covered her ears. Don't listen anymore. Meredith said excitedly, I can't hear it anymore. The two faced each other again. Suddenly, he understood. No way. Don't expect me to cover your ears all night. But he reluctantly agreed. Absolutely not again. Meredith relaxed and fell asleep. Leyon's hands are so warm. He commented on her, like a clingy little animal. Suddenly, she slowly opened her eyes, then moved closer to him and called out, Leyon. Her beautiful face was right next to his. Leyon, can you? Then she made another request. Can you hold him tighter? Leyon felt ashamed of his thoughts. So that's what she meant. I thought she wanted me to obey her. I know, just go to sleep. I'm going crazy. What am I even thinking? Meredith was deeply moved. Leyon was completely different from others. She smelled him. Leyon smelled so good, so warm. She woke up in the morning, startled by the noise. So noisy. She slowly got out of bed. The servants were already waiting outside. Lady Meredith, you're awake. Where's Leyon? Sir Leyon has gone on a business trip. He asked you to wait for his return. Oh, and Vincent Howard was also there. Wow, when did such a beautiful woman appear in this mansion? Vincent Howard, the Baron has ordered you not to touch anyone Sir Leyon brings here. He was angry after hearing the reply. Leyon again. Then he approached and touched Meredith. You. But she refused and pulled her hand back. He panicked. What are you doing? Her stomach suddenly growled. I'm so hungry. I really want to eat this person. Vincent Howard then slyly invited her. I'll take you to eat something delicious. I guarantee you'll be full. She sniffed around and then ran off. Hey, where are you going? Meredith followed a scent. He chased after her. Why are you running so fast? I'm exhausted. She tried to grab a dragon. Stop. I'll eat you in one bite. I promise it won't hurt a bit. My little monster. He grabbed the chain and pleaded. No, this is clearly Meredith's little monster. You. Let go of my pet. Just then, Leyon walked in. Meredith, what are you doing? Dragon raising tip, too many treasures. Today's dragon catching tip, prepare a lot of treasures. Seeing the chaotic scene before him, Leyon glanced at Meredith and asked, how did the mansion become like this? He turned his head and looked at her with a stern expression. You better have a good explanation. She scratched her finger pathetically. Meredith is hungry. Does Leyon have anything good to eat in his bag? Leyon clutched the bag containing the items and warned sternly, these are magic stones for monsters. You can't eat them. Meredith barely heard a word. She quickly picked one up. Immediately after, Meredith put it directly into her mouth. Leyon's eyes widened. She actually ate it. Magic stones don't appear on low-level monsters, while mid-level and high-level monsters use these stones to change their forms. After careful processing, magic stones can become an important energy source. A system prompt appeared. Gold minus 500, gold minus 1,000, gold minus 100. Seeing this, Leyon sighed helplessly. One magic stone costs 500 gold coins. You sure know how to pick things to eat. He didn't restrain himself and continued to question her. Even if you're hungry, you can't trash someone else's mansion like this. Think about it. If your treasure was destroyed by someone else, would you feel good? She suddenly shouted, Meredith's treasure. Leyon sighed, and then sternly explained, humans' personal property, like their houses, are their treasures. Meredith immediately showed a confused expression. What should I do? He continued to remind her, apologize to them quickly. Hearing this, Meredith timidly handed out the stone and said pathetically, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have destroyed everyone's treasures, but I only have this small stone. Warren Howard snatched the stone from her hand. He practically screamed, oh my God, this is a black dragon stone. Leyon glanced at Meredith suspiciously. While magic stones are expensive, they aren't rare. Dragon stones, however, are special stones that money can't buy, and she actually had one. Then, he touched Meredith's chin and asked seriously, do you know that the dragon stone you just gave Baron Howard is more valuable than his mansion? She blinked and tilted her head. So that little stone is called a dragon stone. Then what is money? Leyon's lips moved slightly. Money is. Leyon didn't explain, but instead affirmed loudly. Anyway, dragon stones are very precious. If you regret it, I can help you get it back. Meredith casually said, that shiny black dragon stone isn't as good as Leyon's treasure. It's okay to give it to him. Leyon immediately addressed Meredith. Do you know that humans must obey their guardians? I'm your guardian now, so. She quickly interjected, so Meredith has to listen to Leyon. Seeing this, he continued in a low voice. That's right, so you stay in the dining room and eat. Don't go out without my permission, understand? She nodded immediately. Yes, I understand. Faced with Meredith's naive reaction, Leyon couldn't help but smile. This troublemaking little rascal was so easy to coax. That night, she thought seriously, with Leyon's guidance, I will definitely learn how to be a human soon. Just then, Meredith jumped up. She looked blankly out the door. Something's on fire. Then suddenly, Meredith sat motionless. She muttered softly, but Leyon said I'm not allowed to go out without his permission. After a while, the fire almost engulfed the entire castle, and people screamed frantically, quick, get some water. How could it suddenly catch fire? Leyon reacted immediately, a panicked expression on his face. Damn it, Meredith was still inside. Without hesitation, he opened the door and rushed in. Meredith looked momentarily surprised. Leyon. Meredith smiled radiantly, extending her arms towards him. You're back. Seeing this, Leyon ran to her as fast as he could. He comforted her repeatedly. Don't be afraid. I'll get you out of here right away. He couldn't help but blame himself. Damn it, this is all my fault. I'm the one who let her stay here. Hearing these words, Meredith blinked a few times. She asked, puzzled, afraid of what? Just then, the ceiling suddenly collapsed. Leyon looked up in horror. Oh no, Instantly, she was surrounded by flames. He reached out. Meredith, look out. Leyon immediately shielded her with his body. After a long while, Leyon slowly opened his eyes. He murmured thoughtfully, "That's strange." Then he stared blankly at the flames above, his lips moving slightly. "Meredith, you—" Before he could react, Meredith urged, "Leyon, let's get out of here. It's too dangerous." Leyon almost blurted out, "Hey, your hand." Immediately after, he was pulled through the flames by Meredith. They both tumbled to the ground outside. He coughed incessantly, and she couldn't help but worry. Leyon, are you all right?" People started running over. "Sir, Leyon is out." At that moment, he suddenly grabbed Meredith's hand. "Quick, let me see your hand." She looked at him blankly. "What's wrong with my hand?" Leyon didn't answer, carefully examining the wounds on Meredith's hand. Leyon was surprised to find she was uninjured. Just then, Vicente shouted in a hoarse voice, "Quick, don't let my treasure escape." His eyes were wide with obvious terror. At the same time, Leyon stared at Vicente with an icy gaze. He sternly warned, "There won't be a next time." Vicente instinctively blurted out, I understand." Warren angrily slapped Vicente, complaining incessantly. Leyon looked at him seriously. "Bringing back a monster to raise is a serious crime, but I, the one who brought back Meredith, have no right to speak." After a while, he shouted angrily, "Stop hiding under the table, come out." A muffled voice came from under the table. "Meredith doesn't like water. Meredith doesn't want to bathe." Meredith suddenly turned her head in one direction. "What's that?" Leyon almost panicked. He quickly reached out. That's the letter I'm going to send to the Queen." Before he could finish, she quickly opened it. Seeing Meredith's thoughtful expression, he said helplessly, "Forget it. Since you've already seen it, I don't want to hide it from you anymore. Monsters and wild animals are the same." Hearing this, she sat up straight, panicked. "Leyon." He ignored her and continued, "At least wild animals understand emotions, but monsters only have a desire for food." Leon's voice was steady. "So I suggested to the Queen that it's better to kill by mistake." Suddenly, she hugged him tightly. Meredith's arms were small, but the hug was tight. She asked anxiously, "Meredith was happy when Leyon held me. Is Leyon happy now?" Leyon paused, his eyes trembling. "Didn't she used to be unable to read my expressions? How does she know I'm not happy?" She replied softly, "When Leyon speaks, his expression becomes sad." Hearing this, Leyon turned to look at Meredith. "Aren't you disappointed in me?" She repeated blankly, "Why should I be disappointed?" Then Meredith's eyes lit up. She stared intently at the paper. "Leyon, this looks like ants crawling." He gave a bored expression. After all this, it turns out she can't read. Finally, Leyon explained softly, "This is a letter. Humans write down what they want to say and send it to people far away." He sighed in relief. Fortunately, she can't read. She blinked. "People far away." At that moment, Meredith thought carefully, and the image of her mother immediately appeared in her mind. She was very gentle. Meredith almost blurted out, "Leyon, I want to write a letter." He reminded her sternly, "You should learn to read first. Sit down. I'll teach you how to write your name." The scene shifted to the royal palace, a place of extreme luxury. A person carefully presented a letter. "Your Majesty," a letter from Sir Leyon. Margaret didn't even glance at it. She simply asked him, "What did he say?" The maid lowered her head and reported, "Sir Leyon said he still hasn't found anything and he needs more time." Suddenly, her body was pulled forward sharply. The maid cried out in surprise, "Your Majesty." Her cheeks flushed involuntarily. Then, Margaret hugged the maid. She honestly expressed her thoughts. "Leyon will inherit the title of the youngest duke in the empire. He's too obsessed with finding dragons." Just then, the maid moaned. Margaret pretended not to notice, gently stroking the maid's cheek. "What did the church send you to do yesterday?" She lowered her head. "The church hopes to choose one of the 10 archbishops to be the pope." Hearing this, she yelled, "Insolent." Her voice echoed throughout the hall. Margaret was nearly frantic. She demanded loudly, "Did those guys think they could ride roughshod over the royal family and become the new masters of the kingdom?" Immediately following this, Margaret sternly ordered that the kingdom needed a sharp sword. "Send word to Leyon at once. If there are no results within 3 days, he is to return to the capital immediately." Elsewhere, Meredith looked around. "Didn't you say Leyon was waiting for me? Where is he?" Vicente sneered. "He'll be here soon." He thought to himself, "This time, I personally found someone to bring you. Let's see where you can run." Meanwhile, 2 men were waiting. They exchanged a glance, signaling to make their move. Before Vicente could react, Meredith suddenly grabbed his hand. "It's so lively over there. Leyon must be there." He cried out in alarm. Let go of me. I can walk myself. Then, she squeezed into the bustling crowd, her eyes lighting up involuntarily. Around them, people murmured, "Great, the church has finally sent someone. I wonder who it is." Seeing this, Vicente grew impatient. He urged her repeatedly, "Stop looking. Those are people from a church." Meredith asked blankly, "People from the church?" He explained with displeasure, "The kingdom is unstable because of those lunatics." Then, she suddenly pointed in a direction, her voice tinged with panic. "Look over there." A mother's scream came from above. "Quick, hold on to Mommy's hand." The people below panicked. "What do we do? If he falls from there, he'll definitely die." Meanwhile, the boy's hands were still tightly gripping the railing, tears streaming down his face. "Mommy, I'm scared." Just then, the boy accidentally lost his grip. Witnessing this, Meredith flew upwards without a second thought. The boy screamed, "Mommy." Vicente blurted out, "Hey." In an instant, she held the boy tightly, the corners of her mouth turning upwards. "Got you." Meredith landed on her feet and gently comforted him. "It's all right now." At the same time, the coachman demanded loudly, "How dare you jump onto the archbishop's carriage?" He roared angrily, "Those who offend the gods will be punished. Do you want to get us all killed?" Meredith explained frantically, "But I had to jump onto the carriage to save that boy." Meredith was pressed against the wall, murmuring in her throat, but a voice suddenly rang out, "She saved the child." Roland spoke up in her defense. "God will not punish such a small act." It was Roland, one of the 10 archbishops. People began to murmur, "I didn't expect it to be Archbishop Roland. If even Archbishop Roland says so." Then a phrase flashed through her mind, "shining treasure." He glanced at her. "What's your name?" She quickly replied, "Meredith." Roland praised, "Oh, what a lovely name." Then Meredith innocently asked, "Why is there a crack on that?" He looked blankly at the staff in his hand. Finally, Roland offered an explanation. "Perhaps it became like this because of you." Meredith immediately defended herself, "But I haven't even touched it yet." He smiled gently. "Anyway, it's best not to let others know, or you'll be in big trouble." Afterwards, Roland carefully took Meredith's hand. "I think we could be friends. Would you like to go have tea with me?" She repeated blankly, "Tea." In this ambiguous scene, Leyon suddenly appeared, shouting, "Wait." She turned around in surprise. Leyon, the dragon bather, was at it again. She struggled continuously, screaming frantically, "Meredith doesn't like water. Meredith doesn't want to bathe today." Today's dragon-rearing tip: grab the dragon's tail. Be sure to pay attention to fire and water safety. Upon seeing Leyon, Meredith quickly tried to take credit. "Leyon, I just saved someone." He gently patted her head in praise. Meredith is a good girl." Just then, a deep voice rang out, "Sir Leyon." He asked directly without hesitation, "Archbishop Roland, where are you planning to take her?" Roland replied calmly, "I just want to make friends with her and have a chat." At this, Roland narrowed his eyes and tilted his head slightly, his voice tinged with a probing tone. "She has the right to make friends, doesn't she?" Leyon remained silent, not answering this sudden question. Then, he turned seriously to her. "Meredith, do you choose to go with him or with me?" Roland said softly, "You like the jewels on my clothes, don't you? I can give them to you." Standing between the two handsome men, she hesitated. Meredith walked towards him without a second thought, smiling gently. "Leyon, let's go have tea together. I can also get jewels." Leyon paused slightly, then replied curtly, "I have work. If you want to go, you'll have to go alone." Hearing this, a hint of sadness crossed her face. Meredith turned to Roland. "We'll have to wait until Leyon finishes his work before we go for tea." He pursed his lips, then replied softly, I understand." Just then, Roland asked bluntly, "So Leyon is busy with the missing girls case, correct?" The church is also very concerned about this. The atmosphere instantly froze. Leyon didn't answer, instead posing a question in return. The empire is managed by the royal family, so the church sent Archbishop Roland to investigate the royal family. One of the men nearby couldn't help but worry, "This is bad. They're arguing. Can we beat them?" Meredith's face darkened. Warren stormed in aggressively, "It's over. What's there to see?" People immediately echoed, "It's over, don't block the way." Sir Leyon is right. Despite their fear, some still dared to question. Sir Leyon is right. The royal family sent Sir Leyon to thoroughly investigate this matter. The church shouldn't interfere. Unexpectedly, Roland calmly turned around. He didn't forget to remind her, "Then I'll be going. If Meredith gets lonely, she can come find me. I live in the church to the east." Meredith thought seriously, "Church, chapel, so complicated." "Leyon, what exactly does church mean?" Before she could react, Leyon suddenly spoke, his voice somewhat cold. "Meredith, do you know about dragons?" At this moment, the image of a dragon was clearly reproduced. It was eating people. Meanwhile, Leyon interjected, explaining, "Dragons used to run rampant in the kingdom, but the church regarded them as objects of faith." He emphasized each word. However, 10 years ago, the royal family summoned warriors and eradicated the dragons. There are no more dragons in this world. Meredith nodded slightly. "So that's how it is." After that, Leyon turned around without another word. "Let's go." After a while, the two arrived at a large door. She looked up blankly. "I thought we were going back to that place." Leyon explained, "Our previous residence was burned down, so we'll be living here from now on." Then, the two entered an extremely luxurious room. Meredith jumped up happily and reached out to touch a lamp. "There are so many precious gems." Seeing this, Leyon sighed softly. As expected, she only liked shiny things. His expression suddenly turned serious. "The queen ordered me to return to the capital within 3 days, but because of Roland's appearance, she'll definitely change her mind and return to town." Meanwhile, she lay down, feeling excited. "I can't hear any sound from outside in this room. It's wonderful." Leyon immediately explained, "That's because there are soundproof crystals in the walls." Meredith tilted her head, her eyes shining. "Can Meredith live here from now on?" He looked at her and slowly nodded. "Yes, consider this your home." Meredith's lips closed slightly, then curved into a bright smile. "Meredith has a home." Just then, she paused, a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. "Wait, what is a home?" After a long while, Leyon looked down at his chest and said softly, "It's a big treasure chest that can hold Meredith." A thought flashed through his mind. Even now, I still can't completely trust Meredith. In a small corner, she blurted out, her voice a mixture of envy and dejection, "I envy Leyon. I want a home too." Back in the present, she almost threw herself into Leon's arms. Meredith really likes home. He frowned and looked down. "I don't remember what it looks like clearly, but she doesn't have wings, so maybe it's not Meredith." Leyon looked at her, the corners of his mouth relaxing, then suddenly said seriously, "Meredith, this is your first assignment in learning how to be a person, spending money. How confident are you in completing it?" Meredith giggled. Being able to live with Leyon makes Meredith very happy. Meredith puffed out her chest, holding the coins in her hand, her eyes bright, as if she was about to conquer the world. Meredith will complete it right away. The scene shifted to outside the castle, where trees almost obscured the path. Meanwhile, she stopped at a stall. Meredith's hands clutched the money tightly, trembling constantly, as if it would fly away if she loosened her grip. Her lips moved slightly. "I really want to take out my treasures. Spending money is so scary." Leyon watched from afar and sighed. "I knew it. She's been standing there for a long time, completely still." At that moment, his eyes widened. The mother hesitated, then lowered her head. "I sincerely thank you for saving my son, but I'm sorry. Please leave. I can't sell anything to you." Meredith wore a bewildered expression. A man shouted from the crowd, his voice sharp, "Hey, don't you have any shame? You think just because Archbishop Roland forgave you, everyone will forgive you." Another man, seemingly unaware of the situation, also jumped out and questioned, "It must be you who brought bad luck. My leg has been hurting for no reason lately." She replied innocently, "Then you just don't need your leg anymore." Hearing this, he was furious, his voice becoming even shriller. "I knew it. That Leyon who came from the capital, and you're both useless." As soon as he finished speaking, the man suddenly screamed, "My hand." He clutched the wound tightly, his eyes filled with fear. Meredith wiped away the remaining blood. She sternly warned, "You're not allowed to say bad things about Leyon." Immediately after, Meredith aggressively stepped forward. "You can't say bad things about Leyon." The man was somewhat afraid, but still stubbornly retorted, "I'll say whatever I want. What can you do about it? Buy me again." Hearing this, she paused, her eyes fixed on him. "I want to eat you." Just then, someone in the crowd shouted, "A monster has entered the city. Everyone run." Just as the monster was about to touch Meredith, Leyon suddenly appeared and swung his sword. He looked at the monster with a grave expression, saying nothing. Leyon yelled, "Everyone, find the nearest place to hide. Don't run around outside." Meredith, still unaware of what was happening, called out to him cheerfully, "Leyon." In an instant, the scene descended into chaos. People screamed, "Monsters are in the city. Run. Help. The monsters are eating people." Leyon pulled Meredith close, his arm tight around her waist. He ordered sternly, "Stay with me. Don't run until I tell you to. Understand." He sees an opportunity, shoved her hard, and shouted, "Run." At that moment, Leyon looked toward something in terror. Meredith. She was ferociously biting a monster, screeching, "Don't you eat people." Leyon stared, stunned. Nearby, a man lay on the ground, pleading, "Help me. I don't want to die." Meredith snatched the sword from his hand. "Leyon, lend me your sword." She leaped high, bringing the sword down in a powerful arc. The crowd stirred, everyone shocked. Amazing. At the same time, Leon's expression turned to anger. He yelled her name, Meredith. After a while, she ran towards him excitedly. "Leyon, look. Meredith can use a weapon now." At that moment, Leon's grip tightened on his sword hilt. He suddenly accused her. "It was you who attacked me in the forest that day." Raising Dragon's tip, Leyon wore a look of regret. "I could have caught the little monster instantly with magic. If only I could use magic." Meredith almost blurted out, "There's still many gems at home. Let's go home and eat them." Today's human transformation tip: don't use too much magic. More than 5 times, and you can't change back. Facing Leyon, Meredith pouted, her purple eyes gleaming, her voice urgent and sincere. That's because Meredith wanted to save Leyon. He brushed her explanation aside, interrupting with suspicion in his voice. "That day in the forest, it was clearly a monster attack. So you can use magic. Who are you really?" The air seemed to still. Leon's expression turned cold. He thought to himself, "I haven't been able to confirm her identity until now." Suddenly, Meredith's eyes lit up like headlights, and a wide grin spread across her face. "Monster." Leyon lowered his gaze, slightly relieved. "Just a monster." Then, Leyon warned her seriously, "Humans are much more complicated than you think. Even though you're under my protection, you could also be harmed because you're special." Meanwhile, Meredith puffed out her cheeks and clenched her fists as if to raise her hand in protest. "Leyon wouldn't hurt me." He leaned down protectively, lowering his voice. "Don't tell anyone you're a monster, especially about the magic." Warren ran over. "Sir Leyon." A familiar voice called out from the distance. "It seems everything is over." Roland questioned sternly, suspicion in his eyes. "Meredith, was it because of you?" She startled, puffing out her cheeks in annoyance. "Meredith isn't that scary." Sensing the situation was delicate, Leyon stepped forward, placing himself directly in front of Meredith. His voice was sharp. "Roland, do you think I couldn't handle these monsters alone?" Roland immediately denied it. "Of course not." Seeing this, Leyon commanded loudly, "The two of you, escort the bishop back." He glanced back at her. "Meredith, you go home too." She hesitated, but after a moment, Meredith pursed her lips, her voice softening. "Okay." Meanwhile, a young woman suddenly approached Leyon, bowing deeply. "Sir Leyon, thank you." Nearby, someone thought to themselves, unable to hide their surprise. "I didn't expect this small town to give me a surprise first. We unexpectedly ruled out the person you mentioned. It's definitely not Leyon, but the young woman he brought back." Another person couldn't help but be surprised. "Oh, I've never heard of him having this kind of hobby." Elsewhere, Roland looked thoughtfully at his staff. "The dragon chain on the staff cracked the first time I saw that young woman." A whispered voice came from above. "You said the staff can sense people who use magic." He replied coldly, "Yes. It makes one suspicious." "Unbelievable." Roland smiled faintly. "I'll find a way to keep it from the church. I'll see her again in 2 days." In a small corner, a crystal ball sat on a table. Meanwhile, Meredith carefully pushed open the door. Leyon was already awake. He glanced behind him. "What is she doing in my room?" Before he could react, she suddenly threw a blanket over his entire body. Faced with this sudden turn of events, Leyon was stunned. Meanwhile, Meredith looked thoughtfully at his feet. "If I pull his feet off the bed, Leyon will definitely fall." With that thought, she hurried out. "A pillow. Get a pillow." Leyon sat up abruptly, rubbing his head. After a while, Meredith returned, looking down blankly. Why is Leyon sitting on the floor?" He thought to himself, it's best to pretend to be asleep and see what she's up to. Unexpectedly, Meredith dragged Leyon with one hand toward the chest she had shown interest in earlier. Meredith quickly opened the chest, shoved Leyon inside, and stared at it, thinking all she had to do next was close the lid. Realizing the situation wasn't good, Leyon hurriedly reached out. Wait. He looked at Meredith blankly. "Did I do something to upset you?" Faced with this sudden question, she honestly confessed. Meredith wants to hide Leyon in the chest. Then, she almost couldn't help but shout, "Everyone else can be with Leyon, but Meredith isn't human." Her voice grew quieter. "Meredith isn't allowed." Hearing this, Leyon stared at her, dumbfounded, not daring to blink. She was jealous. Leyon looked away, avoiding Meredith's gaze. I thought you were upset because you didn't complete the task. She retorted loudly. That's not it. Then she retreated to a corner. Spending money is too hard. Meredith doesn't want to spend money. Leyon sighed inwardly. Well, it seemed there were a lot of unspoken implications. He then picked up Meredith and reminded her, you saved the town today, remember. A flash of pride shone clearly in his eyes. She had accomplished something perhaps no one else could. Leyon carefully helped her lie down on the bed. He gently patted Meredith's shoulder and said softly, time for bed now. Seeing Leyon about to leave, she clung to him and whined, Meredith wants a hug. He gave a helpless look. This child is so clingy. Then she raised her head and asked, her eyes sparkling, are there things Leyon can't do? He nodded in response, of course. Then Leyon began to narrate in a low voice. When I was young, glowing roses were popular in the royal capital, but I grew roses for a whole year and never succeeded. He looked at Meredith, his voice softening considerably. Initially, I planned to make them into a gift for someone. She asked curiously, glowing. Just then, Leyon gestured to Meredith. Want to do a second task? She asked excitedly, her eyes practically shining. What is it? What is it? Leyon, like a king bestowing gold, replied succinctly, make money. He whispered softly, his voice echoing in Meredith's ears. The monster invasion has caused chaos in the town. Tomorrow, we'll help everyone rebuild the town together, and while helping them, you can ask them about ways to make money. Having said that, Leyon didn't forget to add, if you can earn money, I'll grant you one wish. The scene changed to the next morning, where the sunlight was exceptionally bright. As soon as they saw Meredith, people began whispering, did she really save everyone? I heard from others that it was her Leyon who killed all the monsters. The person next to them affirmed, I saw it with my own eyes. How could it be fake? The first person was still skeptical, but others said the same thing. Back with Meredith, Roland suddenly appeared. Your ribbon isn't tied tightly. At the same time, she was fiddling with the ribbon on her head. Leyon tied it for me all morning, could have come loose. Time rewound to a few hours earlier, Meredith looking troubled. Leyon, my head is so tight. He adjusted it, puzzled. I'll try a different way of tying it. Hearing this, Roland lowered his head and offered, let me tie a different kind of ribbon for you. With a few deft movements, a neat and delicate ribbon appeared. Meredith happily twirled around. Roland looked at Meredith expectantly. How is it? She replied excitedly, it's beautiful. Just then, Leyon had already walked up beside them. Roland nodded slightly. I understand. I'll stay away from her. Meanwhile, Meredith couldn't help but show off. Leyon, did you see the pretty ribbon? He didn't answer, but snatched the ribbon directly from her head. Then, Leyon took out another ribbon. Meredith's eyes lit up. Treasure. He sternly questioned, don't you like sparkly things? You probably don't need this one anymore, right? Dragon raising tip. Meredith stared thoughtfully at the mirror, gradually losing patience. Are you done tying it yet? Leyon looked helplessly at the newly tied ribbon, thinking, I'll go buy her a new one at the jewelry store later. Today, the dragon raising tribe urgently needs a ribbon tying tutorial, urgently needs a nanny. Meredith put the ribbon on her head, beaming. Meredith looked excited. It's even prettier than the last ribbon. Leyon smiled gently. Isn't it? Just then, he leaned down and asked in a low voice, Meredith, you've been busy all morning. Haven't you found a way to make money yet? Unexpectedly, she shouted excitedly, Meredith made money. Hearing this, Leyon couldn't help but be surprised. So fast. How did you earn it? Meredith confessed honestly. Vincent gave it to me. He came running from afar, complaining incessantly. Why do you always run so fast? Vincent scratched his head sheepishly, not daring to look directly at Leyon. Sir Leyon. The moment she saw him, Meredith blurted out a string of worries. Vincent wouldn't be able to sleep tonight because it was too noisy, and what if she accidentally suffocated Vincent? What would she do then? Could the little monster come back to life without a head? Could humans live without a head? He frantically gestured for her to stop. Hearing this, Leyon frowned and asked sternly, Meredith, what did you do? I don't understand. She smiled innocently, but then uttered words that shocked everyone. Vincent said if I slept with him, he'd give me more gold coins. Huh. The air seemed to freeze in that suffocating scene. Vincent raised his hands in a panic, sweat dripping down his face. No, she's just joking. But this excuse did nothing to quell Leyon's fury. He grabbed Vincent by the collar. What did you say to her? Vincent's face paled as he struggled to break free, his voice filled with fear. Really? I was just joking. Seeing this, Meredith quickly pulled Vincent away, yelling, "No fighting." As soon as the words left her mouth, she complained, "Ow, that hurt." Vincent angrily questioned, "He was going to hit me. You should have pulled him. Why did you pull me?" Just then, Leyon pointed his sword at him, his eyes burning with a murderous glare. "If Meredith weren't here, I'd break your legs. Now explain yourself to her." After a long pause, Vincent softly explained, "Do you understand now? Even if it's a joke, you can't let others earn money that way." She replied loudly, "Meredith understands." He loosened his grip, his voice icy. "Go. And stay away from Meredith from now on." Vincent quickly ran off. "I understand." Then, Leyon leaned closer to her. "That gold coin doesn't count. Think of another way." Meredith lowered her head. Just then, she suddenly turned around and screamed, "The wall is going to collapse." Hearing this, everyone looked at her blankly. What? At the same time, Leyon's gaze inadvertently fell on the wall, his face instantly filled with terror. Leyon immediately stepped forward and shouted, "What are you standing around for? Run!" As soon as he finished speaking, a cascade of stones tumbled down. After a moment of panic, Leyon anxiously looked around. "Is everyone all right?" One of the men coughed repeatedly. Luckily, the warning came in time, so no one's hurt. Then, Leyon looked puzzled. "How did you know the wall was going to collapse?" Meredith pointed earnestly at her ear. "Because I heard it." Another man sighed incessantly. "I was worried the monsters would take the opportunity to invade again, and I wanted to repair the wall quickly. Now that so much of it has collapsed, what are we going to do?" Hearing this, she straightened up and offered, "Meredith can help." A group of men stared blankly at Meredith's sparkling eyes. The man gave an awkward laugh. "This is men's work. How can a girl do this?" Before anyone could agree, Meredith lifted a stone and asked seriously, "Where should I put this?" Witnessing that scene, everyone was stunned. After a moment, Meredith looked intently at the cart. "Oh, it seems I can't." Just then, a man slowly approached. "Is it you? I just came back from a neighboring town yesterday, and my wife told me a girl saved her child." She quickly responded, "I remember. It was a little boy." He smiled gently. "Yes, yes." At the same time, Leyon seriously suggested, "You stay here and help everyone move the stones." He thought to himself that perhaps being with everyone would help more people accept Meredith. Later, the man said loudly, "I've heard about what happened. Don't mind what those jerks said." She blinked, looking puzzled. "Eggs. Bird eggs. Jerks." He continued to explain, "People are always afraid of dragons. Some people are starting to worry." Meredith quickly interjected. "Leyon said there are no more dragons in this world." The man suddenly interrupted him, his voice a bit sharp. "Don't listen to his nonsense. What people are afraid of is that there are no more dragons." Hearing this, Leyon immediately retorted, "What do you know? Do you know how many people dragons have eaten?" The man argued back, "Outside the Empire are all monsters. Without the protection of the gods, they dare to invade the Empire." Seeing this, Meredith slammed a stone onto the ground. "No fighting." Everyone was startled. All right. Even so, the man still grumbled under his breath. "In any case, the monsters are the ones who should be eliminated." Another voice chimed in. "Should be eliminated." Leyon said, "I'm not like those monsters." At that moment, the man said softly, "I'm sorry. I spoke harshly, but you must be careful not to offend the gods again." Just then, Leyon seemed to sense Meredith's gaze. He immediately lowered his head, his eyes curving into a smile. Touched by Leyon's gentleness, Meredith turned her head and looked up, smiling radiantly. Tonight, she definitely would become human. She ran to him excitedly. "Leyon, this is the money the uncles gave me for running errands." "I earn money." The man chuckled. "There was just too much work, so we asked her to run some errands. That's all." The other man gave a thumbs up. "My hand hurts." At that moment, everyone answered in unison, "Wishes can come true. Make a wish." Leyon looked down at her. "All right, I'll keep my promise. What do you want?" At that moment, Meredith whispered in his ear, "I want to go to the forest alone." Leyon reacted strongly to this suggestion. "No way." Seeing this, she quickly assured him, "I promise I'll be back soon." He remained unmoved, sternly questioning, "Tell me first, what do you want to do in the forest?" Meredith didn't answer, instead turning around angrily. Leyon doesn't keep his promises. Seeing this, he quickly walked up to her and patted her shoulder gently. "How about I go to the forest with you tomorrow? How about this?" Meredith seized the opportunity, her hands intertwining tightly with Leyon's. "I promise I'll only go for a little while. Promise me." He put on a troubled expression, his voice slow. "I'll wait for you at the city gate. You can only go for half an hour, okay?" Meredith could barely contain her excitement. "It's a deal." Immediately after, rapid footsteps sounded. The prints almost imprinted themselves. Pacing back and forth, Leyon thought to himself, I remember she said she left treasure in the forest. She probably wants to go find it. Thinking of this, Leyon comforted himself. It's okay. Meredith is strong. Even high-level monsters are no match for her. As soon as this thought crossed his mind, he immediately turned around. I have to go find her. Suddenly, Leyon's eyes narrowed, and he called her name sternly. Meredith. She shouted excitedly, Leyon. Meredith appeared holding a bouquet of flowers, smiling brightly. I'm back. Dragon raising tip. Meredith laughs happily. Find a place to hide all your treasures. He shouted angrily, Meredith, put me down. Today's dragon raising tip. You shouldn't forgive a dragon's habit of hoarding treasure. Seeing her, he suddenly remembered his own words. I wish I could give it to someone as a gift. Meredith innocently repeated, a gift. Back in reality, she ran straight towards him excitedly. A gift for Leyon. He looked at the bouquet in Meredith's hands in surprise. Did you go to the forest to pick glowing flowers? She nodded excitedly. Yes. Then Meredith snuggled into Leyon's arms, smiling radiantly. Leyon taught me how to be a person. This is a gift for Leyon. Leyon's expression clearly darkened. Seeing his expression, Meredith asked blankly, Is Leyon not happy? He turned away to avoid her gaze. Of course, I'm happy. Then, Leyon said in a low voice, but I promise to grant you a wish. Why did you go against it? Meredith looked up, her eyes sparkling like water, and said with certainty, I made a wish for myself. Then, Meredith suddenly hugged him tightly. When Leyon is happy, Meredith is happy. Meredith likes Leyon. Faced with this sudden action, his heart involuntarily sped up. Leyon's gaze was almost locked on Meredith as he cupped her cheek in his hand. At that moment, Leyon's lips slowly approached Meredith's. In this ambiguous scene, she looked at him blankly. Leyon. He quickly explained, you had something on your face just now. I just wiped it off for you. After that, Leyon quickly left, glancing back. Thank you for the flowers. It's getting dark. Let's go home. Meredith couldn't help but feel a little confused. That's strange. Leyon doesn't smell as good anymore. Is he unhappy? The next morning, the trees vied to display their colors, and sunlight filled the earth. Inside, Meredith sat blankly in a chair, murmuring unconsciously. Leyon seems to have gone for his morning training. Here we go again. Just then, he pushed the door open. Are you awake? Leyon's damp appearance immediately came into her view. Meredith was almost stunned. Why do I think Leyon is more delicious than usual today? Then, he softly reminded her, open the box on the table. There's a gift for you. Meredith's face lit up with excitement. Here's a present. She exclaimed excitedly, new clothes. Leyon observed from outside for a long time, then entered the room and took off his coat. Leyon thought to himself, the hoo-ha she's talking about isn't what I thought it was. Just then, her voice came, Leyon, help, help. He snapped to attention. Meredith. Leyon rushed over. She was struggling violently. Leyon, I can't see anything. Watching her struggle, he sighed inwardly. You idiot, stay still. Stick your head out from here. She started to panic. Meredith can't see anything. He shouted impatiently. The collar is here. Don't hit my face. In an instant, she lifted her head and looked directly at Leyon. Meredith could see again. Seeing this, he quickly instructed, after you get dressed, there's a mirror over there. His eyes widened. Meredith suddenly planted a deep kiss on Leyon's lips. Suddenly, Leyon pushed Meredith away. He shyly said, why are you doing this all of a sudden? I don't know either. Meredith stammered, I just wanted to. Leyon, with his smoldering six-pack abs, told Meredith that humans could only do that kind of intimate thing with the people they love. We're not like that. Oh, do you understand? I understand. Do you really understand? I really understand. Leyon said coldly, good. But Meredith suddenly leaned in and kissed him. Leyon asked in surprise, why are you doing this again? But Meredith innocently replied, Leyon, be my lover, so I can kiss you. But Leyon was very indifferent, and he sternly said, a lover isn't what you think it is. She innocently asked, then what is a lover? Leyon leaned in and explained, love is too complicated for you. You haven't even learned the most basic things about being human. You can't even guarantee your own food, clothing, and shelter. That's not true. She said happily, Meredith has new clothes from Leyon, Meredith has food and shelter from Leyon, and Meredith can also hop and skip around. She tripped and fell. Leyon wearily shook his head. He then picked her up. Take off the new dress. It's too long for you. I just gave you a gift. If you want to be human, you have to earn the things you need yourself. How do I earn them? Earn money. Meredith turned her head and said, Meredith completed the money-making task. Then she took out 2 coins. But Leyon blurted out 100 gold coins. 100 gold coins. Hearing this, her face froze. Leyon buttoned his coat and replied, 2 gold coins won't allow you to survive in a human town. So your next task is to earn 100 gold coins. Once you earn 100 gold coins, I'll teach you other things. Will you also teach me what a lover is? Yes, I will teach you. Finally, he left. That night, she helped an old man find his lost kitten and earned 5 gold coins, money plus 5. Helped a very demonic weapon shop owner sell things and earned 15 gold coins, money plus 15. Helped a child hide their homework and earned 1 gold coin, money plus 1. She was busy trying to make money so she could become his lover, but she broke something, so she was deducted money. Washed dishes for a restaurant, minus 20 gold coins, money minus 20. So today, she only earned 1 gold coin. After a tiring day, she finally returned. Leyon, you're back. She then wanted to show off to him. Leyon, you don't know what I did today? I'm a little tired today. I'll go back to my room to rest first. But he remained indifferent. You should rest early too. So she turned and left. Seeing Leyon's indifference, Meredith also felt a little sad. Dragon Girl's note. What are you doing digging in the dirt when you have nothing to do? Neat freak tendencies successfully cured. Meredith wanted to plant flowers for Leyon. Oh, Leyon is like a nanny, taking care of Meredith bit by bit. Don't tilt your head. Wake up. I couldn't talk to Leyon last night, so I couldn't sleep, and now I'm so sleepy. Rinse your mouth. Remember not to swallow. Be careful with your hair. Leyon was too tired yesterday. I should be able to share my money-making experiences with Leyon today, right? Meredith started to say Leyon. He took care of her meticulously, and she was very happy with this gesture. She hurried after him. Leyon, wait for me. The crystals I prepared for you are on the table. Remember to eat them. I'm also very busy today. You don't have to wait for me tonight. Maybe Leyon will be done tonight. That night, she followed behind him. Leyon, today, I still have things to deal with. You go back to your room first, Leyon said. Maybe tomorrow Leyon won't be so busy. The next morning, she was the same, following him everywhere. Leyon, haven't I told you? You can't always be so intimate with the opposite sex, not even hugging. Seeing that he was always so cold to her, she had to tell herself, Leyon has been very busy these days. It's been almost a week, and I still haven't been able to have a good conversation with Leyon. Maybe after I earn 100 gold coins, Leyon will talk to me. Meredith, but suddenly seeing his figure, Meredith became excited again. Leyon, but in the next second, her brow furrowed. It turned out to be Vincent. Hey, your disappointed expression is a little too obvious. Vincent Howard teased her. Leyon has been ignoring you lately, right? I see him with different girls every day. He's definitely planning to dump you. Hearing him say this, she questioned, Vincent is lying to me. It's because Leyon has been very busy lately. She still didn't believe him. He then turned his head and said, come with me. Now do you believe me? When they got there, she saw Mia and Leyon standing intimately together. Seeing this scene, Meredith turned to leave. Hey, don't go. She walked in and called Leyon. As soon as he saw Meredith, he asked, why are you here? Didn't I tell you to stay home and learn to read today? I already know all the commonly used words. Have you earned the 100 gold coins yet? Meredith whispered, I haven't earned 100 gold coins yet. Hearing this, he quickly said, then go make money. I have some work here. Oh, Meredith pouted and quickly left. Seeing her run away angrily so quickly, Mia shouted, be careful not to run into the door. Are you all right? Are you hurt? Leyon couldn't understand what the child was jealous about. Meredith said tearfully, Leyon, can you come home early today? Meredith misses you very much. Can Leyon come early today? Meredith misses Leyon so much. Faced with this question, he fell silent. Then he leaned closer to Meredith's head and replied, I promise you, I'll come home early today. We'll talk then, okay? Okay. Hearing this, Meredith was overjoyed. She could finally talk to Leyon today. But Vincent Howard kept adding fuel to the fire. What did he say to you? Meredith ignored Vincent. Don't tell me you immediately believed him after he coaxed you with a few words. I'm telling you, he doesn't want you at all. Not letting him say more, Meredith quickly grabbed Vincent Howard's clothes and ran off. What are you doing? What should I do? What should I do? Meredith, put me down. No, Meredith needs to find a place to shelter from the rain. This scene was witnessed by Roland. "What are you doing?" She replied innocently. "Meredith is sheltering from the rain." Vincent Howard shouted angrily, "You have the nerve to say that." Roland hurried to Meredith's side and suggested, "The church is nearby. I'll take you there to shelter from the rain. The rain won't last long. I feel uncomfortable seeing you like this too. I'm not going anywhere." He kept persuading her to go inside. "Are you in a bad mood because of the rainy day?" "Yes." "Then let me tell you a story." "What story?" He suddenly fell silent mid-sentence. 300 years ago, a story about dragons and royalty. The royal family awakened the slumbering dragon race and made a pact with them. The dragon protected humanity from monsters, and the royal family offered its sacrifices. However, when humans mastered the method of creating weapons using magic crystals, the royal family decided. Roland said softly, "The royal family not only broke their promise but also coveted the dragon's power." "But Meredith, dragons eat people. Do you think what the royal family did was a good thing?" Meredith replied innocently, "Who is good and who is bad? Meredith doesn't care at all, so why should I?" Hearing the child's answer, he asked in surprise, "You don't care?" Then he recalled his childhood memories. Back then, he was ostracized wherever he went. "So malicious at such a young age. Aren't you ashamed? You dare to seduce my wife. If only I were a dragon." No, would a dragon even care about human actions? In the eyes of God, humans are no different from ants. Roland looked pitiful at that time. After listening, Meredith said, "It's like seeing little rabbits fighting in the forest. Meredith can go over and pull them apart." He asked Meredith, "Between a good rabbit and a bad rabbit, which one would you choose?" Meredith replied with a smile, "A little rabbit. If only one could live, what would Meredith choose?" Of course, Meredith would choose the one she likes the most. Roland said coldly, "Even if it's a bad rabbit." But she remained firm, whether it's a good rabbit or a bad rabbit, as long as it's good to Meredith. Then in Meredith's heart, it must be a good rabbit. She swayed and fell forward. But luckily, Roland immediately caught her. Meredith shyly withdrew her hand in a hurry. She looked scared. "Have you been scratched by a rabbit?" Leyon said that you shouldn't casually interact with the opposite sex. Hearing this, Roland said with a smile, "He's right." He thought, maybe she's avoiding me not because my hand is cold. Suddenly, Meredith grabbed his hand. "Roland, give me your hand." He was curious, wondering what she was going to do. Meredith looked at Roland's palm. Then she said happily, "If I do this, will Roland's hand be warmer?" Hearing this, his eyes widened in surprise. "Meredith, what if you were the first person I met outside?" Just then, Leyon rushed in. "No, Sir Leyon, you can't barge in. Move." He pushed the door open and walked in, his voice grim. "Meredith, what are you doing?" "Leyon, you're here." "Oh." Archbishop Roland seems to be particularly interested in Meredith. Pulling Meredith back into his arms, he continued to question Roland. "What are you plotting?" At this moment, Meredith nestled in Leyon's arms and thought, "I usually sleep in a cave on rainy days." Roland stepped forward and said, "Sir Leyon has no relationship with Miss Meredith, so I want to ask you the same question." Meredith thought, "He's right. Leyon and Meredith have no relationship at all." He continued, "Or rather, is she the queen's illegitimate child?" Leyon looked at him with hatred and said, "Is Archbishop Roland trying to defile the queen just because they look alike? Does she really look that much like the queen?" "Just a little. I've seen plenty of people who resemble the queen." He looked perplexed. "If it wasn't because of that, could it be because Meredith isn't human?" Leyon pondered. "No. Every time Roland asks, the church tries to take her away. Is he deliberately testing my reaction?" Roland stepped forward and said softly, "Sir Leyon, please rest assured. For Miss Meredith's protection, I won't mention her to the church, now or in the future." But Leyon still glared at him with resentment. "Oh, really? I'm fond of Meredith." Hearing this, Leon's eyes widened. Then he sighed. "What can I say? What can I even do about it?" Roland stepped closer and said to Meredith with a smile, "You sure know how to pick your moments to sleep." But Leyon held Meredith protectively, as if she were a precious treasure. "That's your business." Then he took her away. "Think about it. If she were with the church, we could at least keep her hidden. Haven't I already made my decision? We're at the door. Go back to sleep once we're inside. Leyon smells so good." At that moment, Meredith fell into a weary sleep. "Sir Leyon, welcome back." "Yes, sorry to keep you waiting." Seeing Mia, Meredith panicked. She shrieked, "Leyon, you let her stay here." Vincent was telling the truth. Mia quickly explained, "Sir Leyon went out without an umbrella and got his clothes soaked." Meredith glanced fearfully at Leyon. "I forgot Meredith doesn't like water." He then said sternly, "Come down." "My clothes aren't dry yet." But she remained stubborn. Meredith won't come down. She curled her legs up and clung tightly to Leyon. He was a loss. "What's wrong?" Meredith stammered, "Is she going to live with us from now on?" Mia, meanwhile, was smiling innocently at them. Then she picked up the missing new dress and held it up against herself. "Meredith, which one should I wear?" Leyon stepped forward and said, "The hem was too long and easy to trip over, so I took it to the best tailor in Pottletown to have it shortened. It's much better this way." Mia continued, "I came here to deliver the dress, but since it was raining, I took shelter here. I won't be living here." Meredith covered her face in embarrassment. "Oh, I misunderstood. I'm so sorry. Miss Meredith is just as adorable as the rumors say." Finally, Mia didn't forget to say goodbye before leaving. "I'll take my leave now. Will Mia come again? I'll come back in 2 days to deliver some more new dresses." He asked her, "Do you remember asking what a lover is?" Meredith quickly replied, "Leyon said I have to earn 100 gold coins before he'll teach me." He slowly explained to her, "Two people can only become lovers if they both have feelings for each other. You said you like me, but do you like Roland?" Meredith replied cheerfully, "Yes, Meredith also likes Mia, Vincent, and the children in town." But he said coldly, "Love isn't the same for everyone. There's a hierarchy. I want to claim you as my own, to make you a part of my life. Because I didn't understand love either, I went to the library and researched it so I could finally express it in the most appropriate words. Out of everyone, I like Leyon the most." But Leyon glanced at Meredith and said sternly, "That's because I'm the first person you met. That kind of liking doesn't count as love." Meredith looked at him tearfully. "I just want to kiss Leyon. Humans use kisses to show affection too." Meredith frowned and scolded him. "Leyon is wrong." He retorted, "So you're right then. I have no objections." He fell into thought. Meredith's way of thinking is simple, like a child's. To her, I'm like family. He suddenly stroked her head and said softly, "I was wrong to neglect you these past few days. I won't do it again." Meredith replied understandingly, "Leyon is busy, right?" "That's right. Come to think of it, I still get to see Leyon." As she spoke excitedly, he interrupted her, "Aren't you sleepy? Go to sleep." Meredith pouted, "But Leyon has to sleep with me too." He sighed, "Have you been learning things from someone these past 2 days? Come here. I'll wait until you fall asleep." Back in my room, in the empty castle, Roland looked into the crystal ball and said, "Is Meredith really not an illegitimate child?" Elena's response came from the crystal ball. She asked in return, "Why do you ask me this every time you see that girl?" "Just because she happens to have a bit of royal blood. In any case, she absolutely cannot be the queen's illegitimate child. The empire's princess, heir to the throne, Elena." Roland was puzzled. "Why do you say that?" Elena said sternly, "Our Majesty has no desire to bear children with a man." Their two worlds seemed diametrically opposed. Elena continued, "She loves her beloved sister wholeheartedly. If there were any truth to it, the person to watch out for would be that Leyon. Don't let his precious little darling become someone else's mistress." Having received His Majesty's favor, after listening to the instructions issued by the church, Roland said that the case of the missing girls in town must be resolved quickly and preparations must be made. The scene cuts to Meredith and Leyon. Looking at the sleeping Meredith, Leyon thought, "Yesterday, I said I would go back to my room after she fell asleep, but every time I try to leave, she wakes up and grabs me." Meredith is still asleep. Looking at her innocent sleeping face, he couldn't help but sigh, so clingy. Suddenly, Meredith slowly opened her eyes and woke up. He immediately pretended to be asleep. Leyon isn't awake yet. Watching this scene, one can't help but feel it's sweet. What a lovely couple. Meredith looked at him, and a thought popped into her head. If I sneak a kiss on him, Leyon probably won't notice. Just then, she slowly leaned towards Leyon, but he suddenly blocked her with a pillow, preventing her from making a move. Leyon sat up and said, "You're so grown up now. Stop acting spoiled, always wanting hugs and kisses." Meredith blushed. "I don't want to be Leon's child. I want to be his lover. Here you go again." That morning, they had a delicious and beautiful cake. Sitting face to face, they ate and chatted. "Leyon, after I earn 100 gold coins, can you grant me a wish?" "Sure, what do you want?" "It's a secret. Tell you when I earn enough." "I've already earned 10 gold coins. It'll be soon." "You're still a long way off." Hearing her naive words, he suddenly thought, not to mention her personality is no different from a child's. Even if she really has feelings for me, we can't be together. Letting her live in town is the best arrangement. As for me, I'll be returning to the capital soon. Suddenly, shouts came from outside. "Sir Leyon, are you there? Please help us." Someone ran in, panicked, and reported, "Mia hasn't come home all night, just like the girls who disappeared before." "Sir Leyon, aren't you investigating the missing girls case? What are the results? Have you found anything?" "She's not necessarily missing. Let's go look for her first." "Did you see this girl yesterday?" I didn't see her here. Warren Howard was giving orders. You guys search over there. A girl was climbing a tree and was spotted by him. What are you doing? I took my eyes off her for a second, and she climbed up the tree. Hey, you. Suddenly, Leyon appeared and stopped him. Don't shout suddenly. You'll scare her. Try to persuade her to come down first. He shouted from below, what's wrong? Did you see something? I still haven't seen Mia. Then come down first. Okay, wait. I didn't tell you to jump down immediately. Leyon said sternly, what if I can't catch you? Hearing this, Meredith hurriedly climbed down, as he said. The townspeople murmured, weren't the previous girls also kidnapped by monsters? Maybe it's the same this time. Quiet, Leyon said, there's no concrete evidence yet. We heard that you killed all the monsters in town with one move. Can you go to the monster forest to find Mia? We're willing to pay any price. The monsters in the forest are too ferocious. I can't let Leyon enter the forest. I'll go myself. Leyon turned to her and said, 2 days ago, magic crystals were installed on the city walls. There will be an alarm if there's any magical fluctuation. Mia couldn't have been taken from the forest. His words startled her. Leyon can read minds. Leyon didn't hide it, saying, that's right, so don't try to trick me. She would be exposed as soon as she told a lie. She thought for a moment, then said excitedly, Leyon, what if I pretend to be Mia? The two of them discussed back and forth. That way, we can fool the monster. It's not necessarily a monster that kidnapped her. And where did you learn that from? Suddenly, Vincent and Howard came over to tease. What a great idea. Aren't they short of women? Using Meredith as bait is a good idea. But Leyon wasn't happy. He continued to ponder, the bait may not be effective, but we can try, right? So that night, Vincent Howard had to dress up as a girl. Meredith then stepped forward to help him. Let me tie your hair for you. But Vincent Howard was so embarrassed, he almost cried. Don't go too far. Then he pointed at Roland and said, you should make him wear women's clothes. Meredith hurriedly grabbed Leon's hand. Leyon, let's go. I smell a monster over there. Suddenly, Roland also appeared. What a coincidence. Every time something happens, Sir Leyon always discovers it in time. We don't trust each other. There's no point in talking now. A breakthrough. Meredith froze, causing them to ask in surprise, what's wrong? Then she fell into a state of anxiety, as if someone had grabbed Vincent. Hearing this, Leyon remembered something. Meanwhile, Vic and Howard were captured by a mysterious person. Vic struggled and shouted, you abandoned me. I'm defenseless. I'm not a woman. You've got the wrong person. The captor replied, better to catch the wrong person than to let the right one go. Vic retorted, stop talking nonsense. Are you crazy? Fortunately, Meredith arrived in time and rescued Vincent. Then Roland used magic to open the barrier. I'll maintain the barrier and prevent him from entering the monster forest. The rest is up to you. However, the captor was persistent, holding Vincent and Howard hostage. Don't anyone come closer. If you take even one step, I'll kill him. Leyon said sternly, you think you can make me let you go by using him as a hostage? Howard was terrified. Hey, you're not going to leave me to die, are you? In a flash, Leyon's sword gleamed, and Meredith quickly rushed forward to rescue Vincent and Howard. Under Leyon's sword, nothing could withstand him. Everything was trampled beneath his feet. It was over. Leyon, what is Vincent saying? He's thanking us for saving him. Meanwhile, Roland saw Leyon and Meredith's closeness, and he smiled knowingly. The next day, at Howard's mansion, Mia came to express her gratitude. Thanks to everyone, I was luckily saved. Meredith held Mia's hand and said, I'm glad you're all right, Mia. Howard chimed in, it's all thanks to me. I almost died. Let me bring some snacks to thank everyone. Hearing this, Meredith was struck dumb. Human food. She started to panic. If I don't eat it, Mia will be disappointed. I should just eat it. Suddenly, Leyon gently took her hand. Then he took a piece himself. Afterward, he gently wiped her lips and said, you've already eaten a lot of vegetables today. Aren't you full? We can eat more when we go home tomorrow. This gesture made the two people sitting opposite them think to themselves, this cake isn't as sweet as the two of them. He won't let me near her, but he embraces her himself. How shameless. Before leaving, Mia didn't forget to thank them again. Thank you all for saving me. This made Leyon think that other girls weren't so lucky. Only Mia was rescued in time. According to the culprit's confession, there's an underground arena in the neighboring town where the monsters particularly enjoy eating young girls. The people of the Roman arena thought that since Pottletown was close to the monster zone, they could capture monsters easily. That way, if anyone went missing, they could blame it on the monsters. Leyon was lost lost in thought. Initially, when they knew I was investigating, they stopped kidnapping girls. But due to recent poor business, they took another risk. At that moment, Howard came to report, "Sir Leyon, all the managers of the Roman arena have been captured. You haven't slept for 2 days. Why don't you go and rest?" Hearing this, Leyon turned and left. "Then I'll go and rest for a while. If anything happens, remember to call me." Understood. Back in Meredith's room, she was spreading out her gold coins. Leyon approached and asked what's wrong. She replied happily, "This is the money Mia's parents paid me, 100 gold coins in total. So you want to make a wish after completing the mission, right?" "Yes, yes, yes." Then she turned to him and demanded, "Leyon won't go back on his word, right?" "I won't." "Then, I want to be Leon's lover." Get a headache at this. "Why haven't you forgotten about this?" But Leyon had just said he would keep his promise. She pointed at the pile of gold coins proudly and said, "Meredith earned 100 gold coins, and Meredith's wish is to be Leon's lover." He suddenly asked, "I'm only worth 100 gold coins." "Then add 10 more gold coins." "Only 10 more." She started to get angry. Earning money is hard. Meredith has to work very hard to earn 10 more gold coins. "Then how much more do I have to earn to become Leon's lover?" But unexpectedly, he blurted out, "I agree. I agree. If I continue to haggle with her, it would really become a monetary transaction." Suddenly receiving such an answer, Meredith couldn't help but shout joyfully, "Great. Leyon is Meredith's lover now." Meredith didn't know anything about the concept of a lover. "Even if I agreed to be her lover, our relationship wouldn't change at all. On the 3rd day of us dating, you don't need to give me gifts every day." Day after day, she kept pestering him. The day before yesterday, it was a crystal ball. Yesterday, it was a fish. Today, it's duck meat. "Are you going to bring back a sheep tomorrow?" Leyon, who was reading, quickly put his book away while Meredith chattered on. Leyon can also give Meredith gifts every day, like a kiss. She lightly stood on tiptoe, wanting to kiss him, but there was a knock on the door. "Meredith, are you home?" "It's Roland." Leyon and Meredith ran out, hand in hand, talking and laughing. "Roland, look, Leyon is my boyfriend now." Though his heart clenched, Roland forced a smile and offered his congratulations. But in the next moment, he curled his lip and said, "Even if you become lovers, there's still a chance you'll break up. What if they're not good to you, deceive you, or abandon you?" Meredith innocently replied, "Don't worry, Meredith will be good to Leyon." Meredith completely missed the point, but Leyon understood every word. What was Sir Roland's purpose? He quickly changed the subject. "Lord Leyon treats Meredith like a child. When she learns the truth, she'll be very disappointed. Now that the culprit has been caught, I'm preparing to leave Pottlettown and return to the Holy Capital. Here's something for you." Hearing the word gold coins, Meredith's eyes lit up. Shiny treasure. Meredith's dependence on me isn't love. If that's the case, then what are my feelings for her? Leyon softly called her name, Meredith. Meredith looked bewildered. "Leyon, did you call me?" Then, he gently kissed her forehead. It was the easiest answer to understand. And just like that, the two were immersed in love. Blushing crimson, she whispered, "This is Leyon's first kiss." Meanwhile, Leyon kept calling her name, Meredith. Meredith suddenly rushed forward and hugged him tightly. Meredith likes being kissed. She couldn't wait to kiss him back. "No, wait a minute. I'm going to faint from Leyon's kisses. Hee, I earned 100 gold coins and Leyon is my boyfriend now." As if she'd forgotten something, she remembered her next task. Immersed in love, Meredith suddenly asked Leyon, "What's the next task?" "You'll find out tomorrow." Just then, in a dream, she saw herself being forced to cross a river. She cried out, "I don't want to cross the river, I don't want to." Leyon quickly comforted her. "Calm down, I'll carry you across." The two faced each other once more. However, back in reality, it had all been a dream. She fumbled around for a moment and discovered a handwritten letter from Leyon. "Leyon wrote me a letter." Her eyes shone as she read it. Leyon had already embarked on his journey. "Lord Leyon, shouldn't we rest for a while?" "We'll rest tonight. We need to hurry back to the Imperial capital to receive orders." "Yes, sir." "If Meredith comes back with me as a monster, she could be in danger at any time. If I want to protect her, I can only restrict her freedom and even tell her not to trust anyone." He thought of Meredith. When she sees the letter, she might be very disappointed in me, just like Roland said. Meanwhile, Meredith was intently reading Leyon's letter. Live independently. Living independently is extremely difficult, even for humans. Good luck, Meredith. "Leyon, does this mean that Leyon won't come back until I finish everything on the list?" "Leyon always helps me, so I have to work hard too." 3 days later, Warren Howard frowned and said, "You can leave the city gates, but you must have an escort. After killing the monsters, remember to bring back all the magic cores." Leyon isn't here. Meredith, are you listening? Yes, I'm listening. What'd I just say? You said the city gates can take everything. Leyon had arrived at Queen Margaret's palace. Leyon, she said, you look tired lately. Hearing this, he respectfully replied, "Thank you for your concern, Your Majesty. I may not have rested well. I will adjust as soon as possible." 1 Leyon, 2 Leyons. Meredith, on the other hand, unable to sleep due to missing Leyon, she counted him like sheep. 2,781 Leyons. Leyon also thought of her. The moment he closed his eyes, his mind was filled with images of Meredith. They were now a world apart. Before I met Leyon, I was living independently. After deciding to leave, I was clearly prepared. Why does it hurt so much now? Meredith quickly refused. "No, thank you. Mia has already given me many dresses." But Mia still pressed the gift into her hands. "Meredith, wearing the dresses I make helps me advertise. Don't feel burdened." But Meredith thought, actually, Lord Leyon left a large sum of money for Mia to make clothes for Meredith. Even everyone around her cherished Meredith. "Meredith, this is for you. Thank you so much for last time." "Thank you, everyone." Vincent Howard walked over and said, "Meredith, would you like to come to my house today?" She quickly replied, "No, I haven't finished the tasks Leyon gave me yet. Doing those things is useless." "Why?" "Because before my mother left, she also gave me many tasks. Did she come back after I finished them?" "No." Hearing this, he thought, she became a sacrifice to the dragon in my place. How could she possibly come back? Vincent Howard suddenly snapped, "Don't look at me with those sympathetic eyes. Pity yourself." Meredith's mind wandered as she recalled the moments she spent with Leyon. She snuggled in Leyon's arms and asked, "When will the rain stop?" "Soon." "Really?" In the study, do you remember how to hold a pen? In the bedroom, she fell asleep in his arms again. Their presence filled every corner of the garden. Meredith softly said, "I won't stay long. I just wanted to stop by and see Leyon." But after walking for a while, she realized she was lost. "I'm lost." So she searched for Leyon on her own. But she was too naive and couldn't understand the map. "How do I read this?" "Are you having trouble with something?" "I want to go to the imperial capital. Do you know where it is?" The girl in the carriage replied with a kind smile, "It takes more than half a month to get to the imperial capital by carriage from here. Are you planning to walk?" "I can run faster than a horse." The girl got out of the carriage and smiled amiably. "You're Meredith, right? It's a pleasure to meet you." Meredith asked the girl in surprise, "I don't remember meeting you." The girl replied, "My name is Elena. Didn't Leyon tell you about me?" Hearing this, Meredith was overjoyed. "Are you an acquaintance of Leyon's?" Elena tilted her head and replied, "More than an acquaintance. I'm his fiancé." "Fiancé? What's that?" "Are you joking? A fiancé is." Meredith childishly hugged Elena and complimented her. "Elena smells so good, such a soft fragrance." But Elena looked perplexed, thinking to herself, Leyon actually left such a cute little thing behind. Don't blame me for taking the opportunity to snatch her away. Elena suddenly reached out and touched Meredith's face. "Little cutie, I can take you to Leyon. Will you come with me?" Meredith innocently replied, "Can Elena really take me to Leyon?" "Of course. Let's go. We'll go to the imperial capital together." Meredith stood there blankly, watching her. She thought of Leyon. The two were happily skipping along when suddenly a voice shouted, "Stop. Weren't you locked up in prison?" The captor laughed wickedly. "The one in prison was just a double. Did you really think you caught me?" Seeing him, Elena gritted her teeth. "You arrived neither early nor late, but right now to ruin my plans." He quickly drew the dagger hidden in his hand. Seeing the danger, she swiftly shielded Elena. "Be careful, Elena." She pushed Elena down, and they both tumbled to the ground. Seeing that Meredith had saved her, she anxiously asked, "Little cutie, are you hurt?" But Meredith made a shush gesture. "Shoo, I'll just pretend to faint along with her." He specifically emphasized that this little girl is very strong. Seeing Meredith lying motionless, the captor thought to himself, she fainted after just one stab. Elsewhere, Leyon anxiously asked, "What?" Meredith can't be found anywhere. Miss Meredith hasn't disappeared. She'll be back in a few days. Miss Meredith left a letter saying she'd be back soon, so there shouldn't be any accidents. Why did she suddenly leave town? Looking at Meredith's letter, he muttered to himself, could there be danger? Leyon's attendant spoke up. "Lord Leyon, the Duke says the banquet is about to begin. Please attend as soon as possible." He immediately ordered, "Quickly send someone to find her. Report any news to me immediately." That night, Elena and Meredith were both captured and tied up in prison. Blindfolded, they could only perceive their surroundings through their other senses. There's the scent of humans. All the missing people in town are locked up here, but why are they all silent? The smell of blood is really strong. Elena comforted herself. Meredith will protect me. Although it's touching, we're tied up together. Meredith will be able to untie it soon. Elena turned and asked, "Have you untied the ropes yet?" There were many other captured women ahead, tied up and beaten black and blue. Elena spoke up. "This is too cruel. We have to get everyone out of here quickly." Meredith began to use her magic. Then she tried to escape using magic, but it was no use. Elena quickly supported her. "Are you all right? There are a lot of Leyons flying around." Suddenly, footsteps approached. It was Warren Howard. "This is all thanks to the dragon crystal you gave me." Meredith suddenly realized that this was all arranged by him. "It was you. You deceived everyone. You. But she couldn't remember who he was. "Humph," he roared. "You lived in my house for so long, and you can't even remember who I am. What a waste." Meredith innocently replied, "I just forgot a little. Why is the princess here?" "She's a princess." Meredith stood in front of Elena and shouted, "I won't let you hurt Elena." But he roared back, "You should worry about yourself first. Speaking of which, you're such an idiot. Leyon left so many people to follow you. If you hadn't snuck out of town yourself, I wouldn't have had the chance to catch you." Hearing Warren Howard's words, she suddenly remembered him. "Leyon." Elena behind her spoke up, "You went through all this trouble to deceive Leyon, just to kidnap his sweetheart. You're the idiots." He said coldly, "Drag either one of them out to feed the monsters as a torment and see if they still dare to talk to me like that." Meredith yelled, "Hey." After hearing the order, the other person immediately drew their sword, preparing to execute a woman beside them. "Don't worry, I'll end your suffering first." Meredith hurriedly used magic, conjuring a fireball. "This is the second time I've used magic. As long as I don't use it again, it'll be fine." Seeing this, Elena suddenly realized she can use magic. Horns gradually grew from the sides of Meredith's head, causing her immense pain. "It hurts." Seeing the little girl like this, Elena said with heartache, "Sweetie, what's wrong?" "Horns." Warren Howard roared. "I should have known when I saw your wings. You have the mixed blood of a human and a monster." Hearing this, Meredith asked in surprise, "What am I?" He yelled like a madman, "My theory is correct. Humans and monsters can interbreed. Once I possess magic, I'll never have to live in fear again." Elena stepped forward to comfort her. "Ignore him. Hurry and save them." After breaking free from her restraints, Meredith walked over to the people inside and said, "Don't be afraid, everyone. You're all saved." But as soon as she finished speaking, the woman from before suddenly collapsed. Meredith panicked. What's wrong with her? In an instant, everyone present was slain. Witnessing this scene, Meredith's expression darkened. Cut to a seemingly unrelated scene. Introducing today's dragon-raising tip. Let's play hide-and-seek or treasure hunt indoors. I don't want to. I want Leyon to kiss me today. Today's dragon-raising tip. Rainy days can make people feel down, but just one kiss can cure it. Back in the present, Meredith said in horror, "I killed them." Elena quickly comforted her. "They committed suicide. It has nothing to do with you." Suddenly, Meredith clutched her head and screamed, "My head hurts." She remembered past memories. Everyone who got close to her died. She became delirious, murmuring, "Why is everyone dead? The dead can't come back to life." "Sweetie, calm down." Suddenly, Elena exclaimed, "What is this?" As Meredith gradually collapsed, a dark magic enveloped her. "I don't want to remember." In that painful memory, she remembered, "Isn't this too cruel? If we cut off her arm, the blood will flow faster. Didn't the wings we cut off yesterday grow back?" Back in reality, someone was about to stab her. But suddenly, the knife in his hand fell to the ground. Meredith, regaining consciousness, grabbed his neck. "You forced me to do this." At this moment, her memories flooded back. A giant snake coiled around a sword. Then a magic circle opened. Elena hurriedly shook Meredith. "Wake up. The prison is collapsing." But Meredith was immersed in that painful memory. "Hurry up. I see her. I don't want to. I'll never be caught again." The young girl kept dodging the assassin's pursuit, but there was always a warm voice constantly trying to pull her from that painful abyss. "Meredith, can you hear me?" Who's there? It's my fault. Please wake up. Am I dead? Why can I still hear someone calling me? I've got you. Aren't we lovers? Why do you always ignore me?" Meredith opened her watery eyes and replied, "Lovers." Back in reality, Leyon kept calling her name. "Meredith, Meredith, can you hear me?" She suddenly woke up. "Leyon." Leon's eyes widened as he looked at her. He quickly hugged her tightly, stroking her. Meredith, you're finally awake. Hearing these words, Meredith suddenly fell silent. Then she said in a coquettish tone, Leyon, I feel very uncomfortable. Hearing her say this, he embraced her. I'll never leave you again. The black moon that night was big and round. Leyon blamed himself. It's all my fault for leaving her alone in this town. He looked at her with infatuation. What can I do to ease her pain? Elena, who had been waiting for Leyon outside, asked as soon as she saw him come out. Meredith isn't an ordinary person, is she? You don't have to lie. I saw her use magic without a crystal. Leyon turned his head and replied, I won't let anyone take her away from me. Hearing this, Elena thought to herself, I didn't expect Leyon to accept Meredith after all. Suddenly, he said, that's strange. There's a lovely floral fragrance. If Meredith really is a half-blood, then she must have just come of age. When they come of age, they emit a fragrance to express their feelings to their mate. Elena quickly turned and left, not forgetting to say before leaving, I'll go now. She'll be uncomfortable with outsiders around. It'll be troublesome if she gets angry. Her body temperature is too high. I need to get her some water. Leyon gently placed his hand on Meredith's forehead. He held a glass of water and hesitated for a moment. It doesn't matter anymore. Then Leyon took a sip, kissed Meredith's lips, and passed the water to her. Meredith opened her eyes and woke up. Leyon was kissing her with his eyes closed. Seeing her awake, he was secretly delighted. Meredith, you're awake. Wait a minute, Leyon. I feel like I just had a terrible nightmare. She spoke after sitting up. That's right, don't think about those bad things anymore. Just think about me. Just think about Leyon. Leyon, clinging close to Meredith, replied, that's right, we'll never be apart again. But then again, it's ticklish. He gently kissed her lips again, and at this moment, Meredith felt incredibly shy about his actions. As long as she felt comfortable now, it was enough. She giggled and said, Leyon, it tickles. Leyon seemed unable to leave her side, kissing her all over. After kissing her senseless, he asked, can I kiss you? Meredith widened her eyes and asked him, didn't we just kiss? He shyly shook his head. Not that kind of childish kiss. It was clearly just an excuse to deceive her. He clearly had ulterior motives. What kind of kiss is that? A grown-up kiss. Even if she didn't fully understand what love was, he still wanted her to belong only to him. Leyon gently caressed her face and softly asked, so, can I? Meredith froze, gazing at him, thinking, my heart feels a little itchy. Leyon gently lowered his head and planted a soft kiss on her lips. Meredith, lost in his kiss, thought, it's different from before. Her hands nervously clutched her skirt. So strange, she exclaimed. Leyon suddenly leaned in and instructed, Meredith, remember to breathe. She shyly, her voice hesitant and embarrassed, said, I didn't forget. Then Leyon gave her another heart-stoppingly sweet kiss, and he thought excitedly, my heart is beating so fast. It feels like it's going to jump out of my chest. I'm so worried she won't like this. Leyon, still holding Meredith, gave her a deep and lingering kiss, a joyful thought in his mind. It seems it's not just me who likes this. He reluctantly left Meredith's small mouth, giving her a little room to breathe. Meredith realized something and suddenly said, it seems. Leyon immediately noticed his awkward state, his face flushing red. He hurriedly ran off, leaving Meredith with only one sentence. I'm going to the bathroom to wash my face. Left alone in the small room, Meredith shyly held her face, exclaiming, it really is different from the kisses before. In the bathroom, Leyon stood in front of the mirror, scratching his head uncomfortably, blaming himself. How could I do that to someone so innocent? It's time to stop. Just then, Meredith suddenly poked her small head into the bathroom, looked at him, and softly called, Leyon. Leyon turned his head in surprise, thinking, why did you get out of bed? She honestly walked forward and answered him, I'm wet and uncomfortable. Leyon decisively stepped forward and took Meredith's hand to leave. I'll help you run a bath. She fearfully and weakly resisted. Meredith doesn't like water. Leyon suddenly blushed and, while Meredith was still stunned, asked out of the blue, then do you like me? Meredith excitedly and quickly replied, I like you very much. Leyon shyly suggested, then how about I bathe with you? Meredith suddenly asked innocently, but didn't Leyon say that you should be alone when you bathe and change clothes? Leon's face fell, thinking, I forgot about that. He cleared his throat and nervously gave her a reasonable explanation. Well, we're lovers now, so we can bathe together. Meredith happily hugged Leyon's arm, rubbing her head against it, and said excitedly, Meredith really wants to bathe with Leyon. She quickly walked into the bathroom and sat down, shouting Leyon. Meredith is ready. Leyon became nervous. He took a deep breath and told himself, I just want Meredith to be more comfortable while bathing. I have no other intentions, absolutely none. Leyon's foot gently touched the water. The water in the bathtub immediately overflowed. He worriedly asked Meredith, is it too crowded? She happily replied, not at all. Meredith still has plenty of space. Meredith suddenly became confused and softly called Leyon. He thought, what's wrong? She thought for a moment, then voiced what she had been thinking, how we met before. Leyon, with a hint of anticipation in his voice, tentatively asked her, before, when we were children. Meredith lowered her head and softly said, although I really want to cherish my memories with Leyon, I'm also very afraid of remembering the past. Leyon gently embraced her from behind and kindly comforted her. Then you don't have to remember. What matters most now is the present, isn't it? Meredith immediately smiled brightly, revealing her cute little teeth, and replied, that's right. She suddenly exclaimed, I don't seem to be afraid of water anymore. Leyon held her tightly, his heart heavy with conflicting thoughts. I hope Meredith doesn't remember the past, but I still need to find out what happened after her bath. Meredith clutched a pillow, her voice despondent. Aren't we sleeping together tonight? He gently stroked her back. Sorry, I still have work to do. He reluctantly turned to leave, shame gnawing at him. If I stay any longer, I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself. Sleeping together is too dangerous. Suddenly, Meredith grabbed his hand. She shyly pressed his hand to her cheek, her head bowed. Meredith will listen to Leyon and go to sleep, she murmured, but I don't know how to dream of Leyon. Leyon leaned closer, his gaze a mixture of scrutiny and helplessness. Sometimes I suspect you're doing this on purpose. She looked up surprised. Huh? He suddenly bent down, inhaling the scent of her neck. She gasped Leyon. He whispered, I'll leave a mark so you can find me in your dreams. Meredith trembled. Wait a minute. He spoke in a melancholic yet seductive tone. If you reject me now, I'll be very sad. Just then, Meredith pushed him away. Leyon, someone's coming. He went to the door and saw a knight kneeling. Lord Leyon, it's terrible. Howard's accomplice escaped from prison, and Howard himself committed suicide in his cell. Leyon gasped in disbelief. What? The next morning, people gathered at a grave. Whispers filled the air. Lord Howard was still so healthy. How could he suddenly pass away? Even though the Lord wasn't good to us, only the Howard family was willing to stay in this border region. Perhaps the Queen will send a new family soon. Leyon thought to himself. Howard conducted cruel experiments in the dungeon and the forest, using young girls to try and create human-monster hybrids. He looked at Meredith, her head bowed in confusion. Could Meredith also be a hybrid? The Queen ordered that Howard's monster hybridization experiments be kept secret, so his death was announced as due to illness. Leyon frowned, troubled. It's wrong to cover this up without a thorough investigation, even if it's to prevent similar incidents. Vincent Howard suddenly wore an expression of grief, tears streaming down his face. How could he just leave like this? Meredith thought uncomfortably. He's no different from the cultists who took my mother. How should I comfort Vincent? She wondered. Vincent, she suddenly called out. Vincent Howard bowed respectfully before his grandfather's grave. He declared, I will inherit the title and become the next lord. I ask for your support. Vincent thought to himself, I will never condone what he did. I must make a change. The crowd erupted in disdainful whispers. Is Vincent crazy? Hasn't he always wanted to leave the border and live in the royal capital? This must be an impulsive decision. He has no idea what being a lord entails. Vincent Howard stepped forward, feigning sincerity. I know I've been ignorant in the past and caused a lot of trouble, but I will strive to change and become a good lord. I hope you could trust me. The crowd remained silent, the atmosphere awkward and still. Vincent Howard turned away, disappointed. Mia suddenly raised her hand from the crowd. Thanks to Vincent, I was saved. She beamed at him, so I'm willing to support you. Vincent Howard gasped softly, touched. You're the seamstress. Meanwhile, Meredith excitedly raised Leyon's hand. Vincent, go for it. Leyon and I support you too. Leyon spoke quietly. I'll convey the news to the Queen. He thought, since Meredith trusts him, I'll give him a chance. A chorus of agreement followed. If another family comes, they'll just leave after a few days. It's better to let the young master inherit. That's right. Let the young master be the lord. Support the young master. Vincent Howard smiled happily. I definitely won't disappoint you all. Meredith looked excitedly at Leyon. Leyon, this is wonderful. He responded with a surprised, She asked curiously, what are you thinking about, Leyon? Leyon placed his hand on his chin, a shy but honest expression on his face. Well, what exactly is our relationship? I wanted to ask if you'd be willing to. Meredith cupped his cheeks, a playful glint in her eyes. Leyon, don't worry. Meredith will take responsibility. He asked awkwardly. Take responsibility for what? She whispered in his ear, to be with Leyon, and then Leyon panicked, quickly covering her mouth. It's better to talk about this sort of thing at home. He shyly clarified his question again. I just want to ask you, are you willing to go to the Imperial capital with me? Meredith curiously asked, to live together in the Imperial capital. Leyon firmly replied yes. She happily sat on his lap and answered without hesitation, I am willing. Leyon gently stroked Meredith's face, lightly brushing the hair behind her ear, reminding her, you need to know, if we live there, it won't be like now, where you can go wherever you want. She cheerfully said, Meredith is very good at studying at home now. Leyon continued, sometimes people in the Imperial capital harbor malice for no reason. Meredith confidently replied, Meredith won't be sad because of people whose names I don't even know. He asked again, what if everyone opposes us being together? Meredith suddenly leaned forward and hugged him tighter. She softly comforted Leyon. Leyon doesn't need to worry. Meredith isn't that fragile. He smiled with satisfaction, happily thinking to himself, what am I still worried about? Meredith is ready. Leyon solemnly extended a formal invitation. So, can you live with me as my fiancé? Meredith suddenly looked up and repeated, fiancé. Leyon sadly probed, do you think it's too rushed? Don't worry, I will definitely wait until you are ready. Then Meredith innocently interrupted him. Is fiancé another word for guest? Elena said she was Leyon's fiancé. Leyon immediately exclaimed excitedly, no. He wearily ran a hand through his messy hair and gently explained to Meredith, although I don't know why she said that, but I really don't have a fiancé. Leyon solemnly added, and a fiancé is a closer relationship than a lover. Meredith shyly thought to herself, closer. She hurriedly pulled her hand from his, nervously exclaiming, Leyon, you're not going to make Meredith be your child again, are you? Leyon awkwardly retorted, no, not that kind of relationship. That'll be too much. Meredith hesitantly asked, really? He answered her in an affirmative tone, really. In a romantic atmosphere, their hands gently clasped together. Leyon gently lifted Meredith's hand, placed a kiss on it, and solemnly explained, if you become my fiancé, it also means you will become my bride in the future. He added, it's like I've marked you. Even if you are with someone else, you are still mine. She shyly turned her head to the side and softly replied, Meredith understands. Meredith agreed. In the sparkling clean room, with her belongings neatly packed, Meredith stood there, thoughtfully looking around the room. I have to put away the list too, because there are still many things on it that I haven't finished. Leyon suddenly walked in from behind her and said, you don't need to bring this list. You will learn many new things in the Imperial capital. Meredith readily agreed. Okay. He observed Meredith, secretly assessing. Her wings and horns are still too conspicuous. Just then, Elena suddenly opened the door and walked in, worriedly asking, Meredith, are you feeling better? Meredith happily approached her, calling out Elena. Leyon respectfully bowed to Elena. Princess Elena. Meredith intimately linked arms with Elena. Meredith feels much better now. I'm getting ready to go to the Imperial capital with Leyon. Elena happily exclaimed, that's wonderful news. Elena turned to Leyon and asked worriedly, regarding Meredith's identity, will there be any problems? He lowered his head and said, I really want to hide the fact that Meredith might be a monster hybrid, but I haven't figured out how yet. Elena closed her eyes and declared, I can help with that. But then Elena suddenly realized something was amiss and excitedly asked, wait, did you just say monster hybrid? Isn't Meredith a dragon? Hybrid. Leyon frowned uncomfortably and asked, is there something wrong with being a monster hybrid? Elena turned her face to the side and softly said, no, nothing. He suddenly looked at Meredith and curiously asked, what is that? She excitedly replied, it's the seal I carved before. Leyon stared at Meredith, thinking to himself, it seems Roland never said Meredith might be a dragon. After all this time, am I the only one who suspects she's a dragon hybrid? Meredith playfully picked up the seal and stamped it on Leyon's cheek, happily confirming, Leyon is Meredith's. He seriously thought, first, I have to find a way to gain the trust of these two people. and then think of a way to verify. Elena suddenly gave Meredith a small bracelet. "This is for you." Elena explained, "This bracelet is like a cloaking device, but it only hides a small area. I usually use it to hide valuables or carry things with me, like dragon crystals." But Meredith's eyes were now sparkling as she looked at it, exclaiming, "Treasure." Meredith immediately put it on her wrist. Leyon exclaimed in surprise, "The wings and horns are really invisible." Meredith excitedly ran off to find something. A return gift. Leyon suddenly asked curiously, "If you don't mind me asking, Princess, why did you travel all the way from the imperial capital to the border?" Elena lowered her head and softly replied, "I came here to find something, and now I've found it." A treasure chest immediately caught everyone's attention with its glittering brilliance. Meredith excitedly explained that these were all her treasures, and Elena could choose anything she liked, except for Leyon. Looking at the treasure chest, Elena said, "Speaking of Leyon, I just remembered I forgot to bring the Queen's reply for him." She thought for a moment, then seriously instructed, "It seems I'll have to trouble you to go to the Howard residence yourself." Leyon understood and bowed respectfully, declaring, "I'll go get it right away." Meredith suddenly followed Leyon, shouting indignantly, "Wait, Ducky wants to go to the imperial capital too." Elena seriously started to soothe her beloved. "Although you've almost fully recovered now, I still want to examine you." Meredith asked, puzzled, "Examine what?" Elena truthfully replied, "A blood test." Meredith was terrified. "A blood test? What if I'm locked up and have my blood drawn like before? Will Elena be like those people too?" Elena lifted her hand and dripped a drop of precious blood onto the small rose in front of her. "Look, my blood is different from others." Instantly, the withered rose became vibrant again. Meredith sat down and stared at it, thinking, "No one understands dragons better than I do. I've always been treated as a dragon hybrid. Dragon blood can not only heal wounds, but also revive withered grass." Resting her chin on her hand, Elena leisurely continued, "Let me tell you another secret. I'm not like those girls in the dungeon." Elena softly narrated, "They were used to create monster hybrids, while I was used to create dragon hybrids." Meredith frowned in shock. Elena too. Elena tilted her head helplessly, looking at her. "It's better to be dead than to have your body become like that. So they chose to commit suicide." Meredith immediately threw herself into Elena's arms, hugging her tightly. "No, Elena can't die." Elena happily comforted Meredith. "Don't worry, I'm not like them." She gently stroked Meredith's head and softly asked, "Can I test your blood? No matter how special the results are, I'll keep it a secret." Meredith seriously replied, "Okay." Elena smiled and reminded her, "Let's keep this a secret between the two of us." "Okay." A while later, Leyon finally returned. "Princess Elena, I have a letter." Elena said happily, "Since Leyon is back, you two can continue packing. I won't disturb you." Leyon sat on the bed, organizing small clothes. "These clothes need to be packed too." Meredith suddenly jumped onto the bed happily, shouting, "Tata, Meredith Cake Roll is here." Leyon took the opportunity to give her a light kiss on the lips. He sat up shyly, sighing, "I tasted it. It's very delicious." Leyon suddenly sat down seriously at Meredith's eye level. "Meredith, my parents are gone. There's only an uncle at home." Meredith repeated, puzzled, "Uncle?" He seriously replied, "Yes. Maybe he'll mind your non-noble status at first, but after spending some time together, he'll definitely like you." Meredith stood up excitedly. "Leyon, don't worry. Meredith will definitely behave well." A small blanket fell down, covering her playful little head. Meredith screamed in fear. Meredith can't see anything. Leyon thought to himself, "I hope their first meeting won't have any accidents." Elsewhere at the Holy Land, an impatient voice suddenly rang out. "Do you finally have some important news to announce?" He waved his hand at Roland unhappily, complaining, "Have another archbishop come see me, not a powerless mobile vase like you." He thought to himself, "I saw that little girl's magic with my own eyes. Once the church finds out, they might immediately replace me with that guy named Roland." Roland calmly said, "If you don't tell me the latest news, I can't recommend you." He thought, although I also guessed that he saw Meredith using magic. The other man looked at Roland with contempt and mockery. "Roland, you overestimate yourself, don't you?" He stepped forward and provocatively lifted Roland's chin. "If it weren't for the fact that they like your face and want to use you, you would have been just a dog of mine from the very beginning." As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes suddenly froze, his pupils dilated. A powerful magical force hovered in the air. Roland spoke unhurriedly. "You're so angry because everything I said is true. The crystal ball on the table suddenly lit up. Elena, inside the crystal ball, looked at Roland with concern. "What's wrong?" Roland truthfully replied, "I just dealt with some trouble." "Don't worry." He said, "Do you have any news about her?" Elena thought for a moment and replied, "They're leaving for the imperial capital tomorrow." The innocent image of Meredith suddenly appeared in his mind. "Thank you," Roland said softly. "I can't leave for the time being. When the time comes, find a way to lure her to our side." Elena rested her chin on her hand. "Of course I'll lure her. After all, I can't bear to see my beloved suffer." She looked down at the branch in the flower pot, wondering, I've dripped Meredith's blood on it for 3 days now, and this grass still shows no sign of reviving, but she clearly has dragon characteristics. Roland suddenly asked me, "You think she's a monster hybrid too, right?" Elena truthfully replied, "Yes. If Roland knew this darling might be a dragon, he would definitely try to steal her from me, so I'll never tell him." She suddenly fell silent, thinking, as for whether she's truly of dragon blood, I'll find another way to verify it after we return to the imperial capital. Elena earnestly affirmed, "Don't worry, whether it's for revenge or vying for the throne, she will be a very useful weapon." Indeed, the next day, everyone came out cheerfully to see Leyon and Meredith off. "Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, and have a safe journey. Please tell Her Majesty the Queen that I will definitely make Pottletown prosperous." Leyon and Meredith leaned out, replying in unison, "Goodbye, everyone." The clock ticked, and time slowly passed. In the carriage, Leyon earnestly urged Meredith, "Eat more, because we have a long way to go." She obediently replied, "Okay." After a while, Meredith suddenly exclaimed excitedly, "Leyon, look, they have so many foals." Leyon looked out and softly explained, "That's a merchant caravan. They need a lot of horses to help them transport goods." A long time passed. Meredith excitedly pointed at the mysterious black night sky and happily declared, "The stars in the sky are also Meredith's treasures." While spreading out a waterproof cloth, Leyon reminisced, "Speaking of which, when we were little, we used to look at the stars together like this." Meredith excitedly asked, "Really?" Leyon truthfully answered her. "Yes," he said, "come here." Leyon held her tightly in his arms and said, "You always said you envied me because I had a home. Back then, I had an idea, but when I went to find you, you had disappeared." Meredith said dejectedly, "I'm sorry, but Meredith doesn't remember anything." Leyon smiled comfortingly. Looking at her, "You don't need to feel guilty or regretful." He pointed ahead, "Look, we'll have many more beautiful memories in the future." Meredith cried out in delight, "Fireflies." She suddenly remembered something and called out, "By the way, what did Leyon want to say when he came to find me?" Leyon said shyly, "I'll tell you later. It's too early now." Meredith pouted. "Tell me." Meredith wants to know. Leyon helplessly compromised. "All right, I'll just reveal a little bit." She happily exclaimed, "Okay." Leyon hesitated. "I originally wanted to tell you." He suddenly reached out and cupped her face. Leyon said seriously, "I want to marry you in a magnificent palace." Leyon gently called to Meredith, who was sleeping soundly in his arms. "Meredith, we've arrived at the imperial capital." She immediately perked up, leaned forward, and exclaimed, "We're at the imperial capital." The carriage slowly drove into the city. Meredith looked at the scenery outside through the small window and marveled. The imperial capital is completely different from the town. Meredith suddenly grabbed Leon's arm and whined, Leon." He asked curiously, "What about us?" She suddenly remembered something, hung her head dejectedly, and replied, "No, nothing." Meredith thought, Leyon said before that the imperial capital is dangerous. If I say I want to go out now, I'll definitely cause trouble for Leyon. Seeing her sad expression, Leyon softly comforted her. As long as our identities aren't exposed, it's all right to look around before going home. Meredith happily jumped into his arms, shouting Leyon. He cautioned her worriedly, "Careful, don't bump your head." The princess emphasized that Meredith and the queen absolutely cannot meet, but the queen is far away in the palace, so it should be fine. Meredith looked at everything with happy curiosity. "Leyon, look at this." She pressed her face against the glass window and exclaimed excitedly, "A whole room of treasures." Leyon explained, "This is the most famous jewelry store in the imperial capital. Rows of glittering jewels and gems were displayed inside." Leyon picked up a bottle of perfume for Meredith to smell and then softly asked, "Can you find a scent you like? You can choose a few bottles to take home." Meredith shyly turned her head and murmured, "None of them smell better than Leyon." Leyon walked behind her like a tour guide, constantly introducing things. Besides jewelry stores, the imperial capital also has some entertainment venues, such as the racetrack, the theater, and the painting studio. Meredith sighed. The imperial capital is amazing. He softly agreed and then instructed, "Yes, but we need to go home first." A fan swept past, causing Meredith's eyes to sparkle with interest, a fan full of treasures. Leyon suddenly instructed her, "Wait for me in the carriage. I'll be back soon." She obediently replied, "Okay." Meredith quietly walked away, thinking, "I'll go back to the carriage and wait for Leyon." A familiar face suddenly flashed before her. Meredith froze in place, dumbfounded, her eyes wide with surprise. She excitedly shouted, "Mother." When the servant saw her turn to run, he immediately ran over to stop her. "Miss Meredith." Meredith shouted, "Wait." But a stranger suddenly pulled her elbow, bumping into Meredith and scolding, "Don't block the way." She panicked. She clutched her hat tightly. In an instant, countless whispers targeted her. "Look at her wings and horns." Meredith thought, "Oh no, Elaine's bracelet is gone." The woman in the carriage asked her maid coldly, "Why is it so noisy outside?" The maid gently lifted the curtain and glanced out, then replied respectfully, "Your Highness, there are a lot of people gathered in front of the theater. Perhaps the play is about to begin." She said coldly, "Return to the palace." By this time, Leyon had returned. He looked at the girl in the center of the crowd and said in confusion, "Why does that person look so much like Meredith?" The crowd pointed at Meredith curiously and gossiped, "Is this her first time at the theater? Why haven't we seen her before? Those little horns look so realistic." Leyon's heart skipped a beat. He thought, how did Meredith's wings and horns show? He suddenly paused. Something felt wrong. Instead of criticizing her, the crowd was quite interested in her. "I'll give you 100 gold coins. Would you be willing to quit your job at the theater?" Meredith waved her hands in confusion. No, I eat a lot." A petite, wealthy woman raised the bid. "I'll give you 200 gold coins. Come home with me, sister." Leyon stood in the distance, dumbfounded, and exclaimed, "What kind of atmosphere is this?" The crowd suggested, "Why don't you set a price? Whoever can afford it, you go with them, how about that?" "I agree." Meredith looked bewildered, said, "Set a price." She cast a panicked look at Leyon for help. He thought, I can't just go over there and take her away, or the news will spread throughout the imperial capital tomorrow. Meredith suddenly said resolutely, "No matter how much you offer, it's impossible." She happily replied truthfully, "Because I already belong to someone." Meredith hurriedly squeezed out of the noisy crowd, thinking she had to find Leyon quickly. Leyon suddenly reached out and held a small object in front of her. "Isn't this what you dropped?" He was holding the bracelet Elena had given to Meredith. Her eyes lit up as soon as she saw the bracelet. "Thank you for finding it." Then Meredith suddenly stopped. Leyon panicked. "What's wrong?" She said regretfully, "Someone took my bracelet earlier, but now it's back." He immediately understood. "We'll thank them later, but we need to go home now." Meredith softly replied, "Okay." Afterwards, Leyon couldn't help but feel fortunate. Luckily, it was in front of the theater, so everyone thought your wings and horns were props. She thought dismissively, "The bracelet smells like Roland." Speaking of which, he seriously reminded her, "Although we can still say your wings and horns are decorations like we did in the small town, it's still too risky to do so in the imperial capital." She quickly replied, "I know. I must not reveal my identity." At this moment, Roland smiled gently. "I really want to see her again soon." The scene changed to the Duke's mansion. A voice echoed faintly, with seriousness, "First, you must treat Miss Meredith with the same respect as you treat me and the Duke." Inside, Leyon's deep voice resonated throughout the Duke's mansion, "Because she will become my wife. Second, no information about Meredith is to be leaked, otherwise there will be severe punishment." Finally, he asked sternly, "Is that clear?" Everyone answered in unison, "Yes, sir." Even so, the maids couldn't help but wonder, there are so many noble ladies. Why did the young master choose a country girl? When we go back, the Duke definitely won't care. She doesn't seem very smart either. Just then, she smiled brightly, holding a box. "I brought some local specialties from the small town. I hope you like them." As soon as they saw Meredith's face, the maids couldn't help but exclaim, "So cute." She slowly approached. "There's one for everyone." One of them said shyly, "I'm sorry. How can I accept this?" The person next to her echoed, "Miss Meredith, you're too kind." A thought flashed through Leyon's mind. So far, so good. He smiled with satisfaction. I knew they would like Meredith quickly. After all, Meredith was innocent and kind, never discriminated against anyone, and was a very clingy girl. Even when half asleep, she was endearing. Sure enough, the maids excitedly suggested, "Let's show Miss Meredith around the Duke's mansion." Leyon politely declined. No need. He suddenly pulled Meredith to his side. "I'll take her." Leon's heart stirred. "Can't let my guard down for a minute." It seems that being liked by too many people isn't a good thing. After a while, Leyon looked around and said in a steady voice, "This is the living room. Many things here were bestowed by past queens." He explained seriously. For example, this vase was bestowed by the previous queen. Just then, Leyon paused. He looked at her with a puzzled expression. What's that sound?" Meanwhile, Meredith shook the wine bottle in her hand, a look of longing on her face. It seemed she had finished it. Hearing this, Leyon snatched the bottle from Meredith's hand. "Don't you dislike human food? How did you finish all the wine?" She honestly replied, "But it tasted sweet." Seeing this, he asked worriedly, "Are you feeling unwell?" "This is my uncle's treasured wine. It's very strong." Suddenly, Meredith's tone changed, her voice becoming somewhat cold. "Did you just say this was treasure?" She waved her hands around haphazardly. Finally, Meredith touched Leon's cheek and seriously asked, "Whose treasure is Leyon?" Seeing that he didn't answer, she angrily shouted, "I just asked whose treasure you are. Why won't you tell me?" Leyon awkwardly pushed Meredith's hand away and softly reminded her, "You're drunk." Before Leyon could react, she suddenly grabbed his collar. Immediately after, Meredith stood on tiptoe and lightly kissed Leon's lips. He frowned at her. "So you just kissed me? You really are a drunk little kitten." After stealing a kiss from Leyon, Meredith seriously reminded him, "Your treasure can only be me." He couldn't help but smile. Meredith like this was too cute. At this moment, Leyon touched her cheek and soothed her. All right, you're right." Just then, Henry opened the door and walked in. "What are you two doing?" he asked sternly. "Why are you both standing in the living room? And the smell of alcohol is so strong." Upon seeing Henry, Leyon subconsciously murmured, "Uncle, you're back." He hurriedly introduced Meredith. "This is Meredith, the person I mentioned in the letter." Henry looked her up and down. "I thought Leyon was just talking. I didn't expect him to actually bring her back." He secretly sized her up. Her appearance was quite good, but she was ultimately just a commoner woman, not worthy of Leyon. Just then, Meredith suddenly extended her hand towards Henry. "Uncle, is this much enough?" He was momentarily stunned. "What?" She tightly grasped Leon's hand and firmly said, 500 gold coins. Give Leyon to me. I want him to marry me." Meredith continued, He quickly covered her mouth. "Uncle, please listen to my explanation first." After a good while, the wine bottle rolled around on the floor. Henry began to complain, anger evident on his face. "My wine bottle that I've treasured for so many years." Leyon subconsciously felt a chill. It's over. This time his uncle was truly angry. As expected, as he'd anticipated, he turned around and shouted, "Leyon, come to the study with me immediately." Facing Henry's reaction, Meredith tentatively asked, "Does he think this amount is too little?" He immediately interrupted her, his voice somewhat helpless. "That's not the issue. It's that you really went all out for me, willing to spend 500 gold coins to propose to my family." Afterwards, Leyon gently reminded her, "The servants will take you to the bedroom. I'll come find you later." She obediently nodded, "Okay." In the study, Henry became increasingly stern. "No matter what, I will not allow the two of you to be together. You should have her leave as soon as possible." Seeing this, he interjected to explain, "Meredith was drunk just now. That's why she said those things." Before he could finish, Henry resolutely stated, "I think she was deliberately pretending to attract your attention. Ultimately, she's just after your status." Leyon angrily shouted, "Uncle." He softly added, his gaze firm, "Uncle, I know you're very angry right now, but I promise, as long as you're willing to spend some time with Meredith, you'll come to like her." Quickly, hearing this, Henry insisted again, "Leyon, if you still acknowledge me as your uncle, then this matter is not up for discussion." He commanded without compromise, "Hurry up and send her away." Leyon sighed slightly. "I knew it wouldn't be smooth sailing all the way." Scene changed to the Duke's mansion. Meredith lowered her head, her voice getting smaller and smaller. "I'm sorry. I caused so much trouble on my first day in the imperial capital. I not only drank all his wine, but also said such disrespectful things." Hearing this, Leyon gently comforted her. "It's okay. Finding human food that you can eat is already unexpected good news." Receiving his comfort, she excitedly exclaimed, "That wine was a little sweet." Leyon seriously reminded her, "But you can't drink so much at once like that." Meredith's face immediately pouted. I know. Just then, she suddenly stood up abruptly. He blankly called after her, Meredith, where are you going? She quickly replied, I'm going to apologize to your uncle. Meredith was now sober. After a good while, Meredith said in a dejected tone, I really can't see him. The polite man reported, I'm sorry. The Duke has given orders not to let anyone disturb him. Meanwhile, a maid walked in, pushing a food cart. The maid lowered her head and said, Young master, it seems the food hasn't been touched at all. The maid continued, The Duke said he has no appetite. Meredith turned to him happily, Leyon, I have an idea that might make him forgive me. What idea? I want to try making a dish he likes to apologize. Leyon agreed with her decision. It's so thoughtful of you to cook yourself. All right, I'll help you tomorrow. Okay. This was the first task Meredith set for herself, to make her uncle like her. So let's work hard together. He said happily, Now, let's go back to our bedrooms and rest. But the maid stopped them. Your Grace, they said, if the two of you are together, it will damage your reputation. Master Leyon, please return to your room. We will take Miss Meredith to the guest room to rest. Leyon protested. Meredith just arrived in the imperial capital. How can I leave her alone? Meredith reassured him, I can be alone, but I can't let your uncle get angrier. She kissed him on the cheek. Leyon, sleep well. He sighed. There's no helping it. Our love is so beautiful. In the Duke's room, Henry was starving, having not eaten dinner. If I call the servants to bring food now, it would be embarrassing. I heard that commoner woman didn't eat dinner either. Let her starve with me. Meanwhile, Meredith had eaten her fill. I'm so full. Leyon was thinking about her. It must be difficult for Meredith to adapt, having to be separated from me in a new environment. Is she thinking of me now? But Meredith was getting along well with everyone. This copper coin can be exchanged for 100 sheep. Amazing. The next day, Leyon went to discuss with Meredith. Uncle likes wine, so let's try making red wine sauce steak. Okay, let's cut a slice. As she worked enthusiastically, an accident occurred. Leyon, the cutting board is broken. Seeing this, he held her hand and guided her. Don't use too much force, cut gently. Then he put the sliced steak into the pan to fry. After some effort, it was finally finished. Time to get the red wine. If I only take a small sip, Leyon probably won't notice, right? Leyon quickly snatched the bottle and scolded, Stop sneaking sips. You've been caught. Meredith carefully picked up a piece and put it in Leon's mouth. Leyon, taste it for me. He exclaimed, It's incredibly delicious. Fantastic. Meredith happily ran off to get more flowers to decorate the plate. Leyon thought to himself, This is the first time Meredith has cooked, but it's not for me. Leyon, you. But when he returned, the steak on the plate was gone. Why did you eat all the steak I prepared for Uncle? Meredith apologized. I'm sorry, I only meant to have a few more bites, but I accidentally ate it all. At dinner time, Duke Henry called out, Why are you all staring at me? Then he quickly started eating. I immediately sensed the deliciousness of the food. How strange, did we change chefs? The aroma of the wine is well preserved, and the steak is more tender than usual. Leyon turned to him and said, Meredith made this herself. To apologize to you, Uncle. But Henry said sternly, Don't think these little tricks will change anything. The taste is good, though. Seeing the positive effect, the two secretly rejoiced. Success. A servant rushed in. Your Grace, the high-level magical beast you captured 2 days ago is gone. Henry questioned, Did it escape on its own? The servant replied, No, there are no signs of the cage being opened. We find it very strange as well. Seeing her face darken after hearing the news, Leyon was a little surprised. Why would Meredith react like this? Meredith thought to herself, I thought it was that little magical beast that snuck in and ate everything. Later, Leyon stood up and said to his uncle, I went to the basement this morning and accidentally killed that magical beast. Henry was shocked. That was a very rare high-level magical beast, Leyon. You're not usually so careless. Meredith quickly said, That wasn't a high-level magical beast. It just looked like one, so it's easy to mistake it. Henry asked in surprise, You've seen the magical beast in the basement. She hesitated. Before Meredith could finish, Leyon interrupted her. I went to the basement with her this morning. He started to question her. You said earlier it was easy to mistake it. On what basis do you believe it wasn't a high-level magical beast? Meredith stammered because the smell was different. Henry angrily turned and left, but not before sneering, talking nonsense, even without drinking. Even your clothes don't fit. Leyon called after him, Uncle, Uncle, I've already given up my right to inheritance and joined the knights. What's the point of staying home all day? A servant interrupted. Your Grace, there's something you need to attend to. Please follow me. Meredith turned to Leyon and said with a smile, Go ahead. Meredith will wait for Leyon to come home. Henry grumbled, I don't want to go. The servant insisted. Master Leyon is an adult now and must go to work obediently. He turned to Henry again. Why aren't you coming with me? Henry pointed at Meredith. I'm here. The scene shifted to Meredith, who is now wearing new clothes. The maids were talking to her. Miss Meredith, let's just give up. The short skirts the young master ordered for you will arrive soon. It doesn't matter if you can't learn to wear a long skirt. Another maid added, walking in a long skirt is much harder than cooking in the kitchen. You've already fallen over 40 times, and the floor is starting to crack. Hearing the two maids, Meredith thought to herself, it's been several hours, and I'm still making no progress. She shook her head and shouted, No, I can't give up. I have to take small steps when I walk in this. If I feel like I'm tripping, I should lift the skirt up a little. If Uncle can accept me, Leyon won't be in such a difficult position. I must learn how to walk in a long skirt. Uncle ordered me not to see Meredith until I finish the task he gave me, but I'm so worried about her, so we'll just take a quick peek. Hearing a noise, she pushed open the window and said happily, Leyon, you're back. But Leyon signaled her to be quiet. Sure, he whispered, I still have a lot to do. I just snuck out to see you for a moment, and then I have to go. Meredith nodded in understanding. He looked at her and asked curiously, How come you're wearing a long skirt? Meredith replied with a bright smile, Today, I asked everyone to teach me how to walk in a long skirt without falling, and it was a huge success. You learn everything so quickly. The dress is beautiful too. Yeah, well, I actually fell over 100 times before I got it right. Seeing the two of them looking so happy, Henry thought angrily, this is infuriating. Just then, Leyon hurriedly said goodbye to her. Meredith, this can't be happening. He spun around and saw Henry standing behind him. He roared, Leyon, have you forgotten what I told you? Your duties. Meredith quickly defended Leyon. Uncle, I promise, if Leyon hasn't finished his work, I won't see him. Please don't be angry. But Henry wouldn't listen. Leyon, come with me. He looked at Meredith affectionately and said, Go back to your room and wait for me. It's okay, don't worry. Henry, intent on separating them, said, I see you've been completely bewitched by that common woman. Leyon said seriously, It was wrong of me to leave before finishing my work, but I hope you won't take it out on Meredith. I accidentally overheard their conversation outside. Now you're disrespecting even your own uncle. But you were the one who involved an innocent person. It's all my fault they keep arguing. Meredith has put in a lot of effort to earn your approval, Uncle. And it doesn't matter if others don't bless Meredith and me. But you're my only family, so I hope you can see her good qualities. Hearing this, Henry gritted his teeth. Then he said coldly, Within a month, have her learn how to be a model noble lady. All right, Meredith will certainly do her best. But Leon's response stunned her. Did Leyon just say no? She's giving up her freedom for me. If you're going to force her to learn how to be a dutiful wife and a graceful lady, I absolutely cannot agree. I really, Uncle, I'm so sorry. He ran into Meredith as soon as he stepped out the door. Meredith grabbed Leon's hand and pleaded, Leyon, I can learn. I really can. He really is an ideal man. He slowly said to her, I want you to wear a long skirt because you truly like it, not because someone else thinks it's appropriate. Don't worry, I'll find a way to persuade him. Whether it's collecting jewels or making money, I'll support you in whatever you want to do. Leyon, hearing this, Meredith thought, there are still so many things I don't understand, but I'm certain of one thing. There's no one in the world who will treat me better than Leyon. So I must make Uncle accept me.